It is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's been a terrific homestand for the Milwaukee Brewers. Looking to close it out in style as they finish this weekend series with the New York Mets and going for the sweep, as a matter of fact. And Major League Baseball all weekend long, honoring all the moms out there. And from all of us here at Fox Sports Wisconsin, we wish you all a happy Mother's Day as Willie Peralta is on the mound, as we will be seeing guys in pink all afternoon here at Miller Park. Saw the same thing last night. You see Jonathan Villar, Orlando Arcia, as hoping to make it a great Mother's Day here at Miller Park. Good afternoon. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minert and Jerry Augustine will join us as well. And it is a happy Mother's Day, Rock. And let you go first for your shout out.
Yeah, I want to say happy Mother's Day to my wife Kate and my mother Carol, both in New Berlin. So happy Mother's Day. Hope it's a good one. We're going to be heading out, but we'll be thinking about you. All
right, happy Mother's Day to my wife Linda and my mom Lee back in Ohio. Hope you have a great day. Well, it's been a terrific series here, Rock, for the Brewers so far, and it's an interesting matchup. You have a red-hot Brewers offense against a very good pitcher in Jacob deGrom.
And they say good pitching will neutralize good hitting, and the Brewers have been swinging the bats extremely well on this homestand. Look at the 7.5 runs a game, 59 hits. They continue to hit the home runs, but more importantly, I think it's going to be important today that they have been hitting with runners in scoring position, executing extremely well. Travis Shaw has been red hot on this homestand, and they are certainly going to have their work cut out for him today. One of the best in the business, Jacob deGrom. He strikes out a lot of batters. He's got 60. That's good for second most in the National League, only behind Max Scherzer. You can see what he's been able to do so far this year. 2-1 this year, a 3.80 earned run average, bet 3.80 ERA, a little bit deceiving. He only had one bad start. Everything else has been very good for deGrom. He's had good success, 3-1 career against the Brewers. So this will be a good test for the Brewers offense.
Good pitching against good hitting. A couple of Brewers in particular on very good runs. Travis Shaw and Keon Broxton. We'll tell you more about those guys. We'll get you ready for the Brewers and the Mets.
I hope you have a great day. Wish you were here. I was there, but I'll see you soon. Thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. Hope you have a great day. Happy Mother's Day.
I'd like to say thank you to Angela Denise Bell. That's my mom. I just want to say thank you for being you and teaching me how to be me, caring for me and giving me all the love that I could ever ask for, and showing me how to love. And just thank you for me being me. Thank you, Mom. Love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Very well said by Keon Broxton and Travis Shaw as we all celebrate Mother's Day. Check out what Keon has done at the plate in the midst of his 6-game hitting streak, hitting for power, putting up very impressive numbers, and along the way continuing to play very well out in center field. And Travis Shaw had a big hand in that 8-run 5th inning last night with a home run. He brings a 6-game hitting streak into this series and homestand finale as the Brewers go for the sweep of the New York Mets. It's been a terrific homestand, and they want to end it with a bang. Brewers and Mets coming up.
It's my wife's first Mother's Day, which is very exciting. So happy Mother's Day to Kelly, my wife, my beautiful wife, who's a wonderful mother. To my mom, Barbara, who's in California right now. I miss you, Mom. And then also my granny, Barbara Hughes, as well.
Happy Mother's Day to all of these beautiful women, especially my mom and my wife. Feliz Día de las Madres.
A special day indeed as we celebrate Mother's Day here at the ballpark. A treat to watch the Brewers playing extremely well and having a terrific homestand. Hoping to send all the moms home happy here this afternoon. Brewers and Mets wrapping up this weekend series. So far, so good for the home team. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. A little chill in the air, a little breeze off the lake, so we're going to have the roof closed here for the time being as we get you ready for the Brewers and the Mets series and homestand finale here for the Brew Crew. Terry Collins' team had won 4 straight series coming into Miller Park. They're trying to salvage a game here this afternoon as the Brewers bats have battered Mets pitching both on Friday night and especially last night with that 8-run 5th inning. Here's how Collins has the order aligned here today, presented by Potawatomi. The veteran Jose Reyes in the lineup tonight, followed by this afternoon, TJ Rivera, Michael Conforto hitting third, Neil Walker hitting cleanup, followed by Lucas Duda and Curtis Granderson, Rene Rivera, Juan Lagares, and Jacob deGrom rounding out the order that will face Willie Peralta.
Yeah, Willie's last time out, a no decision against the Boston Red Sox. He pitched. He threw 96 pitches, only able to get it through 4 1/3, give up 4 runs in that appearance. A 4-2 record, 530 earned run average, making career start number 7 against the Mets.
A little shuffle of the lineup here for the Mets this afternoon as Jose Reyes will lead things off, and we are underway in Miller Park. We saw Reyes for 1 inning play center field last night, and that was a first in his career. Terry Collins saying they've thought about it in spring training, and they want to get that, trying to get Reyes going. They've had TJ Rivera over there at third. Really no spot available for Reyes in the infield, kind of getting lost in the shuffle, but he gets the starting call and playing short here where he has played the vast majority of his big league career.
And when he gets on, I mean, back in the day, he could create a lot of problems for you, very aggressive on the bases. Injuries have really short-circuited his career.
Yeah, playing time way down, average way down, and as I say that, he hits one on the nose, but Keon Broxton is right there for the first out of the day.
Well, some changes defensively for Craig Counsell. Let's check out the Menards defense. You got Nick Franklin getting a start out in left field. It was Hernan Perez first 2 games of the series. Broxton, but Hernan in the lineup in right. You got Shaw, Arcia, VR Thames, no changes in the infield, and Manny Pena get to start behind home plate. First 2 games of the series, it was Jet Bandy.
And there's Hernan getting everything squared away as he continues to show that versatility that has been so valuable for this club. It was the case last year and this year as well. Kind of keep your eyes peeled as to where Perez is game to game and sometimes inning to inning. TJ Rivera out in front. The count is even a ball, a strike. Mentioned during the weekend, he's been a good story as he has hit his way up to the big league level, hit well at every stop in the minor leagues, played a lot of first base when Lucas Duda was out, went over to third when Duda returned off the DL on Friday night. Very impressive batting average and an on-base percentage of .382 for Rivera. Brewers 3 games above 500 for the first time in 3 seasons. And getting a little momentum going in the home ballpark. Craig Counsell's team has traveled well in the early weeks of this season with very good road trips, including a split to the most recent one, and now getting a little something going in the home ballpark as Rivera lifts one into center. Room for Broxton. A couple of early chances for Keon. 2 up, 2 down for Peralta.
And a check of the standings, the Brewers in second place. I know it's early, but when you're in second place, you can talk about it all you want.
Absolutely.
A game behind the Cardinals.
And a game and a half ahead of the Cubs. We just get that in.
You can see the Brewers tied with the Cardinals in the loss column. Brewers have played 2 more games in St. Louis.
That's good. Good to see this team into the mix. Again, it's very, very early, but this has been a pretty good flip of the script for the Brewers from the past couple of years. Tough Aprils, and took a while to get things going as Michael Conforto is at the plate as he moves down a couple of slots in the order. Had been leading off and has the majority of this season. The first time he is hitting third in the lineup this year.
And Terry Collins is trying to get something going here at Miller Park. They were swinging the bats pretty well before they got here. Scoring a lot of runs in the month of May. Playing good baseball, but the Brewers have taken it to them in the first 2 games.
Well, they really have. This is a Mets team that, yes, has been dealing with a lot of injuries in that rotation, but the starters dead last in ERA, and that's something that if you had been told that a couple months ago, you would have had some very strange looks, but that's the way it has gone here for the Mets, and the Brewers looking to continue to take advantage of it. And at the same time, get a nice lengthy outing if possible from Willie Peralta. Conforto unable to check, and the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that was a pitch for Willie that he had a difficult time with against the Red Sox. That slider, good pitch right there. Yeah, that late breaking slider gets Conforto. He tried to hold up, couldn't do it.
Willie looking for a 1-2-3 inning to begin the day, and Conforto stays in there. Been hitting pretty well in that leadoff spot. First time he has been at the top of the order in that run that ended today. Of course, his career really still at the very early stages. Made a splash a couple of years ago. Struggled at times last year. And he swings and hits one into right field. This is well hit. Perez going back, and that is out of here. Michael Conforto finds the 3rd spot in the order to his liking as the Mets jump to the early lead.
Yeah, got a breaking pitch that was middle in, and Conforto knocked it out of here. And yeah, home runs continue to be an issue for Willie. And that one a blast, high towering shot into the second deck out and right. There you see the location of the slider. That's the last place you want to leave it for a lefty. And he knocks it out of here. 2 outs, nobody on. Mets on the board.
Well, you mentioned those home runs have been a problem. That's the 8th allowed for Peralta. 4 of them he gave up in a winning decision against Cincinnati. He got a lot of help from his offense, did Peralta, that afternoon. The Reds, though, hit 4 homers. They were all solo shots. The game the Brewers won going away 9-4. But still, hang a slider, and someone like Conforto is able to turn on it. The ball is strike to Neil Walker. Walker's had a pretty good series here, to say the least. 3 hits on Friday night, a couple of more last night. He has homered in each of the first 2 games in the series. Jumps out in front of that offering from Peralta, and the change, a ball, 2 strikes.
That's been a pitch that he's thrown a lot better as of late. The changeup's been part of what Willie's been trying to do out there in the mound.
Here comes the 1-2. That's hit in the air to right field again, and Hernan Perez drifting over and near the corner. Enough room to make the catch, so 3 fly balls and then 1 that left the park. Brewers coming up down 1-0. Ninth big fly of the year to give the Mets this early lead. Let's check out the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Jonathan Villar, Eric Thames, and Aaron Perez at the top. Travis Shaw hits cleanup, followed by Manny Pena. Nick Franklin hits 6th place left field. Broxton, Arcia, and Peralta rounding out the Brewers batting order against Jacob deGrom, a strikeout machine here this year.
Yeah, all the injuries in that starting rotation for the Mets, and this is going to be a good challenge for the Brewers and their offense. They've been clicking on all cylinders. A 380 earned run average. He's only had 1 bad start. That was May 3rd against the Braves. 5 runs in 5 innings.
He is the ace right now of this staff, you would think, with Noah Syndergaard still out and will be for quite a while. Matt Harvey struggling as he is right now. See what the Brewers can do against him as VR leads things off. A good series and a nice homestand at the plates for VR going into this finale before the Brewers head out to San Diego to start a 4-game series tomorrow night against the Padres, and then from the West Coast they move on to Wrigley Field next weekend for games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Cubs. Picked up win number 20 last night, did the Brewers. A ball, 2 strikes to Jonathan VR.
Yeah, he's got 3 really good pitches, does DeGrom. I mean, the fastball in the mid to upper 90s. He can reach back and give it a little bit extra once in a while. He's got a good changeup and a slider. He'll also maybe once in a while throw a curveball. He's got it all.
2-2 pitch is in there, a fastball for strike 3, and there's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that last one a little bit higher than the one before. Phil Cudzy, the home plate umpire, he's donning the pink face mask today. He's getting into the groove. Let's check out the Mets. Menard's defense: Conforto, Lagares, and Granderson. Yeah, Granderson's had good success against Willie Peralta. That's why he's out there in right again. And Rivera, Reyes, Walker, and Duda around the horn, and Rivera behind home plate.
Here's Eric Thames.
T.J. Rivera at third. Rene Rivera behind home plate.
That's right. Have to try to lock into that. Well, the Brewers have been doing a lot of damage, and it's been a rather quiet series so far for Thames. But in the big picture, that's not a bad thing. We all know how he was such a big part of the offense, that record-setting month of April. And homer to begin this homestand after going deep on last Sunday against the Pirates. And there's a good start to Thames this Sunday afternoon with a base hit through the shift.
Yeah, turning around a fastball in the upper 90s. Check out the location, down and in, 96 miles an hour, and he's able to turn on it. They got it down a little bit on the handle, but just out of the reach of Walker at second base. Fastball's not a problem for Thames. That was an issue that he thought he was going to deal with in spring training. He's been turning around some big heaters this year.
Thames is on for Hernan Perez. See the pink bats here throughout this Sunday afternoon, as well as the pink on the uniforms. As DeGrom works to Perez, first pitch hacking, going to work into left field, and that will go all the way to the wall. Thames will be held up at third, Perez on into second, and the red hot bat continues for Hernan Perez.
Yep, down and in, he turns on it. This is when you want to get a pitcher like DeGrom early before he settles in. He's had good success against Milwaukee. There's that fastball getting a little bit too much of the plate, and Perez is able to turn on it. He doubled his first time up yesterday. Does the same here today. Conforto gets there quickly, and that's why Thames not able to score.
There you see, run him, send him, Eddie. No.
Plays every position, he hits, and he coaches third.
The assistant third base coach. I like it. Here's Travis Shaw. Boy, did he had a nice night in the 5th inning alone last night. He singled and homered. Part of that 8-run 5th as the Brewers turned a 2-run deficit into a 6-run lead. En route to the 11-4 win last night. Shaw 8 for 21 here during the homestand, as he cannot catch up to that high hard one from DeGrom. 0-2 the count.
Yep, 30 RBIs, and it's well spread around. A lot of RBIs with base hits to left around the right field line.
A single from Thames, a double from Perez. Brewers have something going. 2-strike pitch. There's a ground ball that'll get a run in. That's Neil Walker, the flip to Duda. RBI ground out for Shaw. RBI number 31, and this game is tied.
And yet another first inning run from Milwaukee. It's amazing how they're able to put runs on the board right away, getting the opponent on their heels.
37 first inning runs for this Brewers team, and they have allowed but 12, including one here this afternoon on the Conforto homer. Perez moving over to third on that ground ball. Very good productive outs for Travis Shaw, and with 2 outs, here is Manny Pena. Back in the lineup here this afternoon. Going after the first pitch. This first inning productivity has been something, and you take a look at, you see the runs and where they rank in those 4 categories. And a team that's hit 60 home runs, it makes sense that they would unload in the first inning, but they're not giving up much. Big run differential in the Brewers' favor. And this is popped up. Neil Walker. Now he will give way, as coming in is Curtis Granderson, and that'll do it for the Brewers. But another first inning run, and we're through 1, tied at 1. Inning runs here at Miller Park on this Sunday afternoon. Time now for our Car Soup Scoop from the clubhouse. And Craig Counsell again talking today. It's been a continuing theme with this team. It's a lineup of depth, a lineup of balance. And even if you don't have Ryan Braun, which he obviously does not have right now, and Eric Thames, who's been fairly quiet in the series, you have others such as Travis Shaw, Jesus Aguilar in a pinch hitting role. He has some very good options he can turn to, and he's been doing that with success. Hernan Perez, his ability to hit anywhere it seems in the lineup and play anywhere in the field. It's a good luxury for a manager to have.
Yeah, and as the season goes on, it's going to keep everybody sharp. Everybody's going to be able to get their time off. Thames has had a day or here or there. Shaw has, played in just about every game this year. Hadn't had too many off, but you can.
Then you have that catching tandem. We mentioned Jet Bandy behind the plate to the first 2 games of the series, and Manny Pena getting the call today. A ball, 2 strikes to Lucas Duda, leading off the second inning here for the Mets.
Brewers only have one guy that's played every game. That's Jonathan Villar. Hadn't started every game, but he's played in every game.
At the top of the order, as usual here this afternoon. Well, the they have done here on multiple occasions in this homestand too. They've gotten the production from the bottom of the order. Big part of one of their wins against the Red Sox, and certainly in this series, Orlando Arcia with his first pinch home run that came on Friday night. 2-2 pitch to Duda. And a one-hopper over to Shaw over there on the shift, and that's the first out here in the second.
How about that positioning right there? That's your third baseman. He hit it right to him. Didn't have to move.
Want to hit in the big leagues.
These scouting reports are scary, as accurate as they are, right? Right at him. Yeah, he can play short. Who says he can't play short?
Get me over there. Yeah, it's hard enough to hit big league pitching when there's no one out there. They line up, and it's very tough to get anything through these days. You occasionally see a hitter try to bunt away from the shift or try to rifle one through it. But man, that is difficult. That's why teams do what they do defensively.
Yeah, and this is going to be a challenge for Willie. This matchup right here.
Yeah, Curtis Granderson has had monster numbers, 8 for 14, including 3 homers against Peralta, and he rolls one into the shift here. That's VR, and quickly there are 2 men out.
He got him on an off-speed pitch. Hey, you like to see Willie not not so much just rearing back and throwing as hard as he can and mixing it up. He's throwing some change ups. He's throwing sliders, curve balls to go along with that heavy sinker.
2 outs, bases empty. Rene Rivera. They tag team that role right now with Travis d'Arnaud battling his injury issues. Kevin Plawecki got the start last night. Rivera Friday night. He brings a 7-game hitting streak into this game. Rivera with that healthy batting average. Not someone who walks a lot, but he can get base hits for you, and he is out in front there and behind a ball, 2 strikes.
He had 2 sliders at 2 different speeds. That's a good pitch right there. That's exactly where you want it. Keep throwing it there all day. You're going to have a nice day at the office.
Here comes the 1-2. Rides inside on Rivera. Rene Rivera, that is. The 2-2, and yeah,
I don't blame you.
I was ready to ring him up, but that's not my call.
Yeah, well, Manny Pena thought it was a strike. Everybody thought it was a strike, but Phil Cuzzy.
Just enough run, I guess, to miss inside. Payoff pitch. Roller over to Shaw at third, and Willie Peralta has himself a 1-2-3 second inning. All ground balls through an inning and a half. We are tied at 1.
Celebrating Mother's Day, and we're also celebrating the end of BCF week. We're kicking off here the BCF Ultimate Auction. This is the final day to do some bidding, so we've got a pair of Brewers wives here. Larissa Braun, happy Mother's Day, joined by son Grayson and Danielle Knabel as well. Now, one of the great experiences that fans can bid on is a meet and greet with Ryan. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yes, so you get a meet and greet during batting practice on the field and a photo op with my husband, Ryan.
Well, that's always a fan favorite, to meet Ryan, spend some time with him. And Danielle, another one of the experiences is to sit in owner Mark Atanasio seats and have an owner's experience.
Yes, so you and 4 guests actually get to sit in Mark Atanasio seats. And you also get to watch batting practice on the field, which is an amazing opportunity.
All right, well, thanks, ladies. Larissa, happy Mother's Day to you. Thanks for having Grayson come on. And again, Matt and Rock, this is the last day to bid on these items, so we'll touch on some of the more experiences during today's game. And you can go to brewers.com/BCF Week and just get a look at all these great prizes, all of this benefiting Brewers Community Foundation.
Absolutely. We will look forward to that throughout the afternoon at fantasy camp. Look at that. Look at that, Rock.
Yeah, going well.
Yes, sir.
There's room there, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nick Franklin with a fly ball to left to start this second inning. Keon Broxton now settles in. I will second the thought about batting practice, how cool that is. That's I mean, you've been around this for a while, Rock, but for just in my role here, that's a treat every day. You just get down there by the cage and watch these guys go to work.
It's amazing how hard they hit that baseball, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You have seen a few guys put on quite the show during BP. It was a fun part of coming to the ballpark. Keon Broxton's been putting on a pretty good show, period. 369 his average over the last 19 games as he's blown up those early season struggles in the first couple of weeks.
Speaking of hitting the ball hard in batting practice, Keon Broxton.
Yeah, he knows how to put on a show.
It's kind of like warm up for the day, right? You go down there at the batting cage, you go down there, you talk to the coaches, you make a couple of comments to the guys going by as they run the bases, and it's one of the fun parts about this job. One of the many good parts about this job.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Being down on that field.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Broxton with 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Brewers, by the way, with that first inning run, that is the first run allowed in this ballpark by Jacob deGrom. His first couple of outings here, he was unscored upon in 14 innings, 14 1/3 innings of work. But the Brewers changed that. Travis Shaw ground ball that scored Eric Thames.
Yeah, this is his 6th start against Milwaukee. He's 3-1, a .232 earned run average, and which is pretty much par for the course since he came on the scene back in 2014. He's got a .274 career ERA.
Yeah,
that's before this year.
Yeah, he's just terrific. A Rookie of the Year in 2004, won 9 games. An All-Star a year later. Big year for him. 14 victories in a 30-start season. Of course, a World Series year for the Mets. He can sling a pretty good bat too. You keep that in mind. In fact, he had a big day at the plate against the Brewers here a couple of years ago. 9th round pick. Payoff pitch to Broxton. A swing and a miss. Good fastball takes care of Keon, and there are 2 outs in the second. An idea of some of the items here. The fantasy camp, still room, Rock says. You can also get behind the scenes with Fox Sports Wisconsin. Owner's experience, Miller Park Suite. That behind the scenes deal, though, you can, if you're lucky, and if the timing is right, you could be in the truck with producer Brent Reeland, director Mark Vittorio. That's a good day.
You got to stay out of their way, though. They're busy. Arms are going.
Get intimidated in there?
Yeah, it's a lot of work in there. I have a tough time in there because it's usually pretty laid back up here, but those guys intense. Don't get in their way.
They're dialed in. Garcia looks at a strike, and he is down 0-2 to Jacob deGrom.
That's where all the work takes place, in the production truck.
And you show your appreciation to them every day. I'm really impressed by
I
them.
do.
I do.
Might not show it, but I do.
0-2 pitch. There's a bouncer to Neil Walker, and this will be a 1-2-3 inning for Jacob deGrom. So both deGrom and Peralta settle down. We move to the third, tied at 1.
Brewers all tied with the Mets. And on Sunday, May 28th, the Brewers host the Diamondbacks, and all fans will get a Robin Yount motorcycle bobblehead, courtesy of U.S. Cellular, commemorating the kid's famous ride around County Stadium following the 1982 World Series. That might be the coolest bobblehead that we've had yet.
I would agree.
That is, who would have forgot? Who could forget that, right? That moment?
That is awesome.
And it's well represented in this bobblehead.
I would agree. I think that is the all-timer in bobbleheads. Top of the third inning, 8-9-1 for the Mets. Juan Lagares leading things off. Gold Glove winner in 2014. I mentioned Jose Reyes for the first time in his big league career played outfield last night. He borrowed one of Lagares' gloves. So going to use a glove here, get one from somebody who's won a really sweet award in his career, and that would be Lagares. The problem for him, though, he hasn't really hit. In the Gold Glove year, he did hit for a good average at 281, but last year just 239, and off to a tough start at the plate so far this season.
Yeah, there aren't too many positions that you can just be one-dimensional. You know, talking about defense, center field certainly not one of them. That's normally an offensive position. You might not have to hit a lot of home runs, but you better get on base and run a little bit. And he has a big-time throwing arm, does Lagares.
Peralta with the 3-1. Well, it's been said a lot too through the years, Rock, and you can confirm or correct here. If you're going to win a Gold Glove, it doesn't hurt to have some offensive numbers too. It's a defensive award, but if you're a great defender and you're hitting 200, it might.
You're not going to win.
Right.
That's the way it is. You're right.
Payoff pitch. Slapped over to Orlando Arcia, who snaps it up, and the throw over to Thames for the first out. Peralta has given up one hit. That was the solo homer from Michael Conforto with 2 outs in the first inning.
Man, last 4 outs, all ground balls. Love to see that.
And all the outs were fly balls in the first inning. So settling in, and here's Jacob deGrom, and you see what he has done here. You could peel off a layer there, and it's actually 4 for his last 7. He's not quite 200 in his career, but he has the ability to do just this. A base hit up the middle. And there's the second hit of the afternoon for New York.
You can't let your guard down with that guy at the plate. You just can't do it. I mean, you have to concentrate, make good pitches. Yeah, for a guy 6'4", he handles the bat pretty well. 6'4", 190 pounds. Jacob deGrom, tall and thin. Fastball down, goes down and gets it, and base hit into center field.
So 1 out, 1 on here in the third for the Mets, and here is Jose Reyes. Fly ball to Broxton in the first inning. Swing and a miss there, and Pena able to block it. See the average sub 200, but he can still get a hold of one now and then when he plays. Mentioned throughout the weekend, the Mets very much a banged up team. That has not changed. Lifted into left field, shallow, long run, Nick Franklin. 2 outs. Closed the book on the injury talk with the Mets as Drupal Cabrera had to leave the game last night. He re-aggravated a thumb injury. Did that at the plate last night. 2 outs, and deGrom the runner at first for T.J. Rivera. Going up in the order here this afternoon into the 2-hole. Wave at a miss at a slider for strike 1.
He's got a good slider today. He really does. He made the one mistake to Conforto with it, but most of the time it's been down out of the strike zone, and he's getting a lot of swings and misses on it.
You see Pena was threatening a snap throw down to first. The Brewers have picked off 9 runners this season. I think it gets to the point where, when we mentioned it last night, it has to get into the opponent's head a little bit. It was a key moment on Friday night when Jet Bandy caught Jay Bruce too far off the bag at second. It ended the inning, and then the Brewers had a big bottom of the 6th and went on to win. Rivera from the Bronx, the undrafted free agent, making the most of his opportunity. Fly ball out to Hernan Perez. Lots of room for Hernan. That will do it for the Mets. So a single, no damage to Peralta. Still tied at 1. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly, and by Toyota. Let's go places. 1-1 Mets and Brewers, bottom of the third inning here at Miller Park, and a very nice crowd at the ballpark on this Mother's Day afternoon. Willie Peralta will lead things off. Hey, we talked about Jacob deGrom and his ability to hit. Well, this guy can too. He's put on some shows in batting practice and put on some shows during the game. Check this out. Last year against the Mets, a no-doubter.
Yeah. Well, he's got 3 hits this year, an RBI. So all of a sudden now Willie is gone from just a BP guy to every now and again he's going to make good solid contact in the game.
He's had a couple of warning track flies, but that one definitely not a wall scraper. Out of here easily, and a pretty good hack right there at the first pitch from deGrom. Getting some hits here this season. Matter of fact, 3-for-11 at the plate. Had an RBI single against the Cardinals back toward the end of April. 0-2 the count. Two-strike pitch from deGrom. See what kind of matchup we get here in the series finale against the Red Sox on Thursday afternoon. There was terrific pitching, both teams scoring in the first inning today, but Peralta getting into a little bit of a groove on the mound right now. deGrom set the Brewers down in order in the second inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch.
And 97 giving Willie his good stuff. He's down in his zone, giving Willie a chance to get a bat on it. And deGrom's been eating up innings amongst other things for the Mets. And they could use a long start today. Their bullpen's been worked quite a bit.
And the Brewers have had their share of success against that bullpen. A swing and a miss there for out number 1 in the third. Those are those strikeout numbers that deGrom has coming into the game with the 60 punch outs.
And now leads the league with 63. He was a couple behind Max Scherzer coming into play today.
Only Chris Sale, the Red Sox, has more, and Sale has just been terrific for the Red Sox. Had some trouble getting any kind of run support in his first few outings. It's changed a little bit.
Kind of disappointing we didn't see Chris Sale in that Red Sox series. Of course, the Brewers hitters, they're glad they didn't have to deal with him. But you want to see the the top guys in all of baseball when they come to Miller Park, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
You want to see these guys play, see them pitch.
We saw him a couple of years ago when the White Sox were in town, one of those interleague series. But yeah, he is one of the best around. And yeah, it's good news, bad news. If you're the Brewers, like, oh, well, that's too bad. We don't see him, but yeah, that's part of the fun of the interleague matchups. You get a chance to see some of these guys.
And the players even tell you they want to face those guys. They want to face the Kershaws, the Bumgarners, guys like that. Some of the best. I mean, this is a good challenge for him, Jacob deGrom. He has put himself right into the conversation for some of the best starters in the league.
And a comebacker, nice stop by deGrom. He'll retire VR for out number 2.
Yeah, tough to get a high chopper over his head at 6'4".
Able to smile about it. 2 outs, bases empty for Eric Thames. He got things started in that first inning with a 1-out single. Moved over to third on an Hernan Perez double and scored on a ground ball from Travis Shaw. Storyline for Thames much the same here, as he is out or near the top in many categories. Still tied atop the National League with the 13 home runs. He and Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals. Makes sense. Those are the top 2 scoring teams right now. Brewers in this homestand averaging 7.5 runs per game. The change there has Thames Down on the count, 2 strikes and nothing.
Yeah, good slider, then a changeup, and Thames got a fastball his first time up. Single to right field.
0-2 pitch. He struck him out 98 on the offering from Jacob deGrom. We are through 3, tied at 1. Focus in on Willie Peralta here, rocking that breaking ball.
He's only made the one mistake. That was to Conforto in the first inning. He hung it, but there's some good ones. A little off speed. That was a curveball right there. So he's been able to throw all of his pitches. 4 pitches he's using here today. He's throwing a few more changeups. You can see the location of the slider. Outstanding work so far for Willie. And the more he throws that, the more effective his fastball is going to be.
He will face Conforto to lead off the 4th inning.
And the no strikeouts is not a problem. That's a good thing because that's going to keep that pitch count down.
That last outing against the Red Sox, 96 pitches in 4 1/3 innings. 99 in 5 1/3. The outing before that in St. Louis on May 2nd. Conforto, Walker, and Lucas Duda for the Mets in the 4th inning. 9 home runs already for Conforto. 7 of them coming when he's been in the top of the order, but hitting 3rd here this afternoon.
And if you're really Peralta, don't forget about that slider. I mean, he's got a good one. He did hang one to Conforto, but that should not cause him not to throw it. You throw him a good one, he's not going to hit out of the ballpark.
2 balls, 1 strike to Conforto. Back to the fastball. Four and 2 record for Peralta. Trying to lower that ERA though at 5.30 going into this matchup this afternoon. Has not been lacking for run support in a few of his outings, including the last time out, an 11-7 win against the Red Sox, although he had a no decision in that game, working just 4 1/3. And a walk to Conforto to begin inning number 4. First one given up by Peralta.
Well, there's another Free Shirt Friday coming up on Friday, May 26th. The first 20,000 fans at the ballpark for the Brewers matchup against the Diamondbacks. We'll get a 3/4 sleeve Barrelman T-shirt. That's courtesy of Blue Jay Solutions. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
A sweet looking shirt, might add. As you said yesterday, I mean, you got to love Barrelman, right?
First logo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice.
Very nice. And it fits you perfectly. Just your size, right there.
Yep, on May 27th, I'll take that baby home.
Here is Neil Walker. We'll try to keep him quiet here today. A couple of home runs in the series, one on Friday night, one last night. Heating up here in the month of May is Walker, 333 this month coming in. The former Pittsburgh Pirates, second year now with the Mets. Driven in 19 runs ago with his 4 homers. Peralta with a 1-1. And that's down the line, working away from the shift. A fair ball. Conforto moving over to third as Franklin comes up with it, and the Mets with runners at second and third to begin the fourth.
Well, that's pretty good plate coverage right there for Walker. Two-seam fastball going away. Yeah, Willie Peralta, I think, put it where he wanted to, but that's just a good at bat for Neil Walker. Check it out, the two-seamer. You know, down and away, just goes down there. The way he gets on top of it, down and through. You can't do anything about that. That's a good pitch, Willie. Keep throwing him there. You're going to be all right. 97 at the knees on the corner, and he doubles down the left field line.
You see that? That's using the ballpark.
And because of that, he's such a difficult guy to set up. You don't know which really way to pitch him, and have to play him pretty much straight away, although the Brewers had Shaw shaded toward the hole over there. That's a good piece of hitting. Not much you can do.
So a big threat here for the Mets in a tie game, 4th inning. Lucas Duda in attack mode in that first pitch. Hyperextended elbow had him on the DL until Friday night. Those dangerous hitters, the 31-year-old Duda, dangerous when healthy. He's had some big power years with the Mets. .30 homers in their World Series year of 2015. Back injury had him missing a very significant chunk of the season last year. A 1-1. Last night, Duda walked twice and got hit by a pitch. It's one of 2 that Zach Davies hit in the game, and Zach was ahead of the count both times. A ball, 2 strikes. Fordo at third. Neil Walker, the runner, at second. And there's a soft liner right to VR. Out number 1.
Able to bust him inside with a fastball. Good pitch by Willie. Kind of a jam shot, little flare to VR. Check it out. Up and in. Yeah, dude, trying to pull those hands in, just couldn't get the barrel of the bat on it.
Now he will face Curtis Granderson. Got him on a ground ball to second. Granderson's first time up. Mentioned the big numbers he has against Peralta. 3 homers and 15 at-bats against Willie in his career. One of the veterans, and they have a few of them. This Met squad, the 36-year-old. Originally drafted by the Tigers back in 2003 in the 3rd round. His power numbers have gone back up. He had some big years. All-Star season. 2012 hit a career high 43 homers. Hit 30 a year ago.
And you got to hit him to get out of Citi Field. I mean, they have brought the fences in, but still pretty fair ballpark. He's always had big power. Well, conversation right here. You got the bottom of the order coming up after Granderson. You got first base open. Manny Pena wants to make sure they Don't feel like they need to be real aggressive right here with Curtis Granderson, who's had tremendous success against Willie. Double play candidate in the on deck circle.
2 balls, 1 strike. 97 from Peralta there on that fastball.
And if he wants to chase out of the strike zone, let him.
Rene Rivera is the on deck hitter. Fordo a walk, Walker a double. A line out from Lucas Duda. Peralta ready to load up and bring the 2-2 pitch. And that is dropped down the line, just foul.
And 96 right down the middle. That's a mistake by Willie. Got away with it. Don't want to throw that one again.
Anderson settles back in. The 2-2 again, and he got him swinging.
That's a beaut right there.
Wow.
That slider. Wow.
Nasty.
That might be the best one he's thrown. Big break on it, down and in. Right under the hands of Granderson. That's money right there. 87 miles an hour. Check it out. No chance. He missed that one by 6 inches.
Right to the back foot. Peralta trying to work his way through this jam in the 4th inning.
Picked a good spot for his first strikeout.
2/3 of the way home here. Now Rene Rivera at the plate. Grounded to Shaw. That ended the 2nd inning. He has a 7-game hitting streak, does Rivera. 13 for 30 now in that stretch. Here's the 1-0. Drops a slider in there to even the count. First 2 reached here in the 4th inning for the Mets. Peralta has retired the next 2. And he's ahead in the count 1-2 to Rene Rivera. A 33-year-old from Puerto Rico. His 2nd year with the Mets. See if he can get out of the inning here, and the answer is no. A base hit into center field. It will score Conforto. It will score Neil Walker. 2 out, 2 strike. 2-run single from Rene Rivera.
And Willie Peralta upset with himself. That was he missed his spot badly there. They tried to come inside, left it down the middle and down in the strike zone. Well, he got 2/3 the way through. You can see where Pena's setting up inside and had to reach back over the plate right down the middle. Look at the reaction of Willie. He is upset with himself and missed his spot badly.
It's about as animated as you'll see him.
Well, he had done such good work against some pretty good hitters, right, to get through. I mean, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. He got Duda, he got Granderson, and with 2 strikes, he makes a mistake. That's why he's upset with himself.
It cost him a couple of runs. 0-1 to Juan Lagares. Even a miss there, and Peralta in front. 2 strikes and nothing.
The other thing about that pitch was pretty straight. I mean, his movement on his fastball today has been really good. That's some of the best movement he's had this year, and that one just pretty straight as a string down the middle.
2-strike pitch coming. Runner on the move. Pitch is taken. Throw down to second. See ya. He's out. Rene Rivera trying to steal on Manny Pena. Not a good idea. Brewers down 3-1, bottom of the fourth.
Gore and Cecilia, the last day of BCF week. We're trying to finish up with the ultimate auction here, but how does BCF week and the auction items here help support what you do with BCF all year long?
Well, we raise money all year long, and we focus on about 200 nonprofit organizations that support organizations that are doing health, education, and recreation-related activities, really having an impact in the community.
Now, there's always a number of great packages and experiences that you can do here through the auction, but one of the new ones is a really cool one, the Miller Park engagement. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Someone will be able to spend about $5,000 on an engagement ring and have their engagement featured on the scoreboard, and the proceeds will go to ABCD after breast cancer diagnosis.
Very cool. And there's another good one here, a new one here, had an opportunity to have a party at the Miller Caves.
Yeah, we've had a long-standing relationship with Miller Lite, and they donated the historic Miller Caves party. 20 of your friends can come out and do a beer tasting and just have a fabulous time touring the caves.
All right, thanks, Cecilia and Matt and Rock. Those are certainly great opportunities here. And again, you can go to brewers.com/BCF week. They have until 11:59 tonight, so you certainly want to get your bids in to help support BCF.
All right, Sophia, Cecilia, thank you very much.
Nice
one.
Yeah, if you've never been to the Miller Caves, those are awesome. That's part of the Miller tour down there at the brewery.
It's outstanding.
Outstanding. That is. That was a lot of fun. We did that a couple of winters ago.
Hernan Perez leading things off. A ground ball to Jose Reyes. Out number one. Perez busted up the line, but he is retired. We're checking in with Sophia throughout this ball game this afternoon and go through the items up for auction. Greg Council's team wraps up this series, trying to get the sweep. Going to have to come from behind to do it. That's a couple of runs at the top of the fourth.
No, we should do on some of these items. Just add, responsibilities to Brian Anderson. He can't defend himself here today. And
that's a good idea.
Just throw, stuff that he's got to do on some of this stuff.
And then you can let him know what he's doing next Friday.
Hey, by the way,
Friday.
you remember what you volunteered to do such and such, and it's coming up this week.
Maybe I should start that. You guys have done that with me. It's like, let's bring LePay in for, grub with BA and Bill. And
then never tell you about it.
Exactly. But just throw me under the bus when I'm not there for it. It's all right.
Yeah, when they show up, folks show up, we say, I don't know where he is. We told them.
That's the kind of team effort that we have around here.
That's right. Every man for himself.
That's right. 2-1 pitch. Shaw with a liner and a base hit. He's swinging a hot bat. 7-game hitting streak now for Travis Shaw.
Yeah, it's all about bat speed at the point of contact for Shaw. And, you know, he never, ever overswings. He doesn't seem like he's ever off balance. DeGrom gives him a changeup, up, down the middle, and he's right on it. Look at the balance on the swing afterwards. I mean, that's perfect. Down and through. Batting the hitting zone a long time, and then hits it hard into right.
Batting average continues to climb, and the run production's been there all along. RBI ground out. Shaw in the first inning. Driven in 31. It's his 9th hit here in this homestand. Here's Manny Pena.
It doesn't look like a big deal, but his first time up, I mean, he had 2 strikes on him. And hit a ground ball to second base to tie the game at the time. And you know, those are the RBIs. That's the difference between having a big season with the RBIs and not. I mean, they call those the free RBIs. They're far from it, but that's what the players call them. You know, guy at third base less than 2 outs.
Pena with a chopper, just foul. Yeah, it's another example. We continue to watch this team be able to score runs in ways beyond the home run. Home runs are great. They're not always going to be there. I was thinking last night to that 8-run 5th. Now Shaw hit a 3-run homer, but they had scored 5 times, just moving the line. And then Shaw cranked one into the seats in right field. 3-run blast. 0-2 the count to Manny Pena. The air to right field. Granderson will watch it fly into the stands. Part of the Mother's Day crowd here.
Yep. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Yep. Get a baseball. No, I failed to say Happy Mother's Day to my daughter.
Oh,
Mallory, back in back at home here, and gave us 2 beautiful granddaughters.
You're covered now. That's good.
Yeah. And Kate, Mom, and Mallory.
There you go. And Linda and my wife Linda, my mom Lee.
Yeah.
Here, so make sure I'm covered.
Just in case they didn't see our open today.
Exactly. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Down goes Manny Pena for the second out here in the 4th. Rom racking up those strikeouts. That's what he's been doing here this season. 60 of them already coming into this game.
Another changeup. I mean, the guy that throws can get it up there at about 98 miles an hour. His changeups at about 88 to 89 miles an hour. So gives you an idea. Just a little bit, you know, off the fastball, getting guys out in front.
Here's Nick Franklin. He gets the start in left field here today. Hernan Perez was out there Friday night and last night. Been away over the weekend. Ryan Braun on the 10-day disabled list. Calf strain. So Perez gets some turns. Franklin getting some turns. Could see Eric Thames out there as well to get Aguilar into the lineup. See as time goes on. The good news with Ryan, it sounds like it will be just a 10-day stay. Not be a prolonged visit to the disabled list. But the good news here beyond that is that the Brewers have been hitting without him in the lineup. 1-1 pitch. Franklin has delivered some sizable hits here in his time with the big club. Went through a stretch where that wasn't happening, but has been involved in some of these offensive outbursts that the crew has had.
He's trying to do a pretty good job as a pinch hitter. came up with a pinch hit last night.
And Jesus Aguilar really seems to be settling into that role as well when called upon. Certainly that was the case in the last road trip. Had a start in Pittsburgh 8 days ago out of left field. So he's 3 for 4 here in this homestand. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ron missing with the heater. To Stetson University in Florida. We mentioned his ability to swing the bat. Didn't pitch till his junior year. If you were wondering why DeGrom had a little look, that's why. Thought he had strike 3.
Yeah, it did.
3-2 pitch. Slapped over to Lucas Duda. That'll do it for the Brewers in the 5th. 1 hit, they leave 1. We are through 4 with the Mets leading 3-1.
Mother's Day, Mom. I love you very much. Thank you for all that you do. All the things you've taught me. Appreciate it. Love you.
Happy Mother's Day to my mom, to my wife, to my sisters. So happy great days. I love you a lot, and I miss you a lot.
Very nicely done. You can tell by when you hear these that these guys, they're not just phoning this in. There's very sincere thoughts there from Manny Pena, Jacob Barnes. We've heard from some others throughout the course of the day. There have been some memorable moments here with the Brewers on Mother's Day, and always just a good feeling coming to the ballpark on a day like today.
Yeah, this is the best job in the world. I mean, working in sports, and these young guys, I mean, they have it made, no doubt about that. But you know, one thing that a lot of folks don't think about is that, you know, they're away from family for about 6 months and aren't able to be with family on holidays for the most part, and that makes it difficult at times, especially the kids that don't live here in the U.S.
No doubt about it. A guy like Manny Pena, Mom's got to be proud of him, fighting his way through and getting his chance now and doing some very good things. Orlando Arcia as well. Yeah, it's not like you're just driving down the road to see Mom with these guys. Long way away in many cases.
Yep.
Here's Jacob deGrom. Singled in the 3rd inning. Mentioned his first 2 years in college at Stetson. He was an infielder, shortstop and a 3rd baseman, and then became a pitcher by his junior year. Seemed like a wise move, but he can swing the bat. Came here a couple of years ago against the Crew. He had 3 hits. He was hitting in the 8th spot in the order.
It's a pretty tall shortstop.
There he is, 6'4", tall and lanky. Ground ball to Thames. Nice backhand stop, and the flip not in time. Peralta not getting over there, and DeGrom legs it out.
Well, it's a bad toss.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I mean, Thames did not lead Willie properly. Peralta had to stop and catch it and then continue to first base. If he leads him nicely, he's going to get the out. Just a bad throw.
Yeah, you're right.
And we haven't seen too many mistakes like that from Thames at first.
DeGrom going up the line, able to reach. A 1 out, 1 on here in the 5th inning for Jose Reyes.
They gave Thames an error on that, which you should.
And did. First error of the ball game for the Brewers, and the first of the series. Committed a couple on Thursday afternoon against the Red Sox. Oh, 1 to Reyes.
Yeah, winning games and playing good defense goes hand in hand. You don't give extra outs to the opponent, and then you get the pitching that the Brewers have been able to, get. Counsell's been very pleased lately with the defense. They didn't get off to a very good start this year. He had 3 errors on opening day.
Yeah, they have been by and large a better defensive team away from home, but that has changed a bit up until the E3 a moment ago. Putting together some clean games here at Miller Park. What they're really good at here is turning double plays. The Brewers have turned 44 of them. Most of the National League. Only the Rangers have more in the big leagues. And a broken bat and a base hit to right field for Jose Reyes. So now the Mets with another threat going. 1 out and runners at first and second.
Pretty good pitch again by Peralta. He's coming inside and just blows up the bat. Yeah, but bat dies happy with a base hit. Pitch up and in, and Reyes able to muscle it out into right field.
That's with a couple of runs in the 4th inning and a threat going now in inning number 5. There's T.J. Rivera. A couple of fly balls, 1 to center, 1 to right for the third baseman. And Peralta starts him with a strike. Back to that slider. Rivera actually had a move out to left field. They were shuffling the deck quite a bit with the Mets defensively as the game was moving along. His first outfield experience in the big leagues.
Everybody's doing it these days, moving around, showing versatility. Showing the versatility that they never knew they had. Right?
It's called staying in the bigs, right?
When you're forced to. I mean, you can play. You're a good athlete. You can play, all over the place if you give it an effort. Not that it's easy.
What was interesting about Reyes in all his time at short, and they had him at third here this season, putting him out in center for an inning last night, and that's a way to get him in the lineup. T.J. Rivera has been hitting the ball really well, so with Duda's return, you want to keep the hot bat in there, and you just try to find a way. Now Reyes at short today with Cabrera out.
And that's the way you want to have Jose Reyes at first base, with the pitcher in front of him at second. Nowhere for him to go.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Rivera. Looking for that put away pitch and does not get it. Rivera dumps one into right field, a base hit. DeGrom held up at third as Perez gets the throw in. And now the Mets have the bases loaded with 1 out.
Yeah, just hung that slider. It had some break on it. It was off the plate, but it was upstairs, and Rivera went right with it. Didn't try and pull it. Shortening up with 2 strikes, just punches it out there into right field. Good at bat. Just didn't go down like the other sliders have. And yeah, with DeGrom at second, they hold him at third.
The bases loaded for Michael Conforto, who homered in the first inning, walked and scored in the fourth. Oh, Willie up against it here. He got a foul pop from Juan Lagares to begin the innings. DeGrom reaches on an error, and then back-to-back singles to right from Reyes and T.J. Rivera. Fastball away to Conforto. This was how the scoring started after a couple of fly ball outs to begin the game. Willie hangs a slider, and Conforto deposits it into the seats.
And he hadn't hung many, but every time he does, seems like the Mets able to get a base hit.
It was the 9th homer of the year for Conforto, the left fielder, to go with his 22 RBIs. Drops one in there to even the count.
That's a good pitch on a 1-0 count.
By the way, Manny Pena with the pink chest protector, but a little more conservative than what we saw from Jet Bandy last night.
Yeah, all pink for Bandy.
Greg Counsell before the game telling the assembled media that the Brewers were calling Bandy strawberry milkshake last night. That he had quite the look going. 1-1 pitch. That's it in the air to left field. Long run, Nick Franklin, and that's going to sail over his head. DeGrom will score. Here comes Reyes. He is in. 2-run double for Michael Conforto, and it's a 5-1 game.
Another 2-seam fastball away from Willie, and Conforto goes right with it. Well, the Mets are putting some pretty good swings on Peralta today. And some opposite field success, and that wasn't a bad pitch. It was off the plate and not a bad pitch, but a good hitter able to go right with it and drive in a couple of runs with the bases loaded. Well, that error really opening up the inning for the Mets. That DeGrom ground ball to first.
Brewers have had some bullpen activity here, and I think we're about to see a double switch. Bottom of the order will be coming up for Craig Counsell in the 5th inning. I thought Willie had a little bit of a groove going after giving up that first inning homer. Got through the 2nd and 3rd in good shape, but go back to that 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run single from Rene Rivera in the 4th, and now 4 straight Mets reaching here in the 5th.
Yeah, that was a gut punch for Willie Peralta.
A pitching change here at Miller Park with the Mets leading the Crew 5-1. The 2-run single with 2 outs in the 4th inning, and now 4 straight Mets have reached in the 5th. Double switch. Hernan Perez moving over to left field from right. And the double switch involves Domingo Santana now in at right field. He'll hit 9th in the order.
And you're right about that single. 2 outs by Rene Rivera. I mean, it looked like Willie, you know, completely different guy after coming out, after giving up that base hit. Yeah, but certainly, you know, the Brewers down by 4. Here comes Yan Marinez. You know, 579 earned run average. We saw Marinez in the game against Boston on Tuesday. Gave up a couple of runs in 2/3 of an inning.
He inherits runners at 2nd and 3rd. Rivera at 3rd. Michael Conforto, the runner, at 2nd. Conforto's 2-run double chasing Peralta. Want to know the count to Neil Walker. He doubled and scored in the 4th inning. And that's with 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings, and they may add to it, and they will. This will go to the corner. This will score 2 more. And Neil Walker is just raking here in this series, and the Mets now lead 7-1.
Man, he's hitting everything. Pitches away, pitches in on him. And now the book closed on Willie Peralta, and all of a sudden now he's giving up 7 runs. That pitch up and in at 93 with the infield in wouldn't have mattered, but right down the line, and a couple more cross home plate.
So a 4-run 5th now for the Mets, and still just 1 out. Here is Lucas Duda.
Yeah, Brewers getting a taste of their own medicine right here today.
That's exactly what's happening.
It's kind of what the Brewers have been doing to the opponent in this homestand.
7 runs on 8 hits for the Mets. 4 hits here in this inning. Oh, 2 to the Mets first baseman. It's grounded out and lined softly to VR in the 4th inning. Marinez ready with the 2-strike pitch. And 4 1/3 for Peralta and 7 runs, 6 earned. Tough outing as the Mets bats have come to life. The 0-2 and a little bloop. Arcia cannot get it. That's a base hit. Walker had to hold up. He will move to 3rd. As everybody's hitting now for the Mets in this 5th inning. 5 straight singles, which followed an error. So 6 now have reached in a row.
Yeah, another jam shot. Lucas Duda getting jammed up and in, but he's strong enough to dump it into center field out of the reach of Arce. You can see Orlando trying to track it out of his reach. And Neil Walker has to stay put at 3rd base.
Curtis Granderson, the hitter. And this is hit over to Thames. He'll tap the bag for 1, and they need to tag. They get it. And they retired Duda over at 2nd. 3-6 on the double play, and the inning is over. Perhaps they may take a look here as we will tap the brakes. No,
run didn't
looks
score.
Like run did
no
not.
Run.
Yeah, they're checking to make sure the run did not score.
Yeah,
so there you go. Yep.
It's not the conventional double play.
Right.
The force is over here. Now the question is, does the run score before the tag is made? It is not, and that's Neil Walker's fault right there. He's got to run hard through the bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or through the plate. If he did, he would have had a run.
So a break for the Brewers there, but a tough inning as the Mets lead by 6.
of BCF week and the ultimate auction, joined now again by Cecilia Gore, Executive Director of BCF. And Cecilia, a number of these packages are great opportunities, great experiences, and right now there's some great deals available here. So we've got the spring training experience. It's just $1,275 right now. Can you tell us what a fan gets if they purchase that one?
For $1,275 right now, you could go to Arizona, 2 tickets on Southwest, come and do a behind the scenes, meet players, have a full uniform. It's a really great deal.
Well, and there's no bad time to go to Arizona, right? Especially for spring training in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And we want to give a little love to our behind the scenes with Fox Sports Wisconsin. It's a great deal. You get to hang out with our TV crew and, of course, dinner with Brian, Bill, Matt as well.
And aren't you joining them?
I will join, yes, yes. So our behind the scenes with Fox Sports Wisconsin package right now is for $1,225. And with that, you get 4 field level tickets. You get to join us for batting practice. We'll take you into our production truck. You can meet our producers, directors, our hardworking crew. And of course, Matt and Rock, I think we're going to have to sweeten the pot a little bit. So I'm open to suggestions of what we can do to get fans to purchase our behind-the-scenes tour.
Well, Sophia, I think Cecilia just did by getting you involved in the dinner now. So I think the number is going to go up significantly,
yeah, well,
Rod.
I think we need to get BA to stretch a little bit, make up for lost time.
Yeah. He'll be filling in for me. I'm sorry. He's back on
right.
Friday.
The second team comes flying in.
No.
Maybe we can have BA, cut their grass or something.
Hey, that's good.
Or maybe have BA's guy cut their grass.
I was going to say he's going to have to borrow a lawnmower. There's a base hit. Orlando Arcia, 1 out, 1 on here in the 5th.
It's not fair to pick on him when he's not here, but we'll do it anyway.
It's more fun when he's here to actually know that he's being abused. BA will be back on Friday at Wrigley Field.
There's a good at bat for Orlando Arcia, going to right field as usual. Something he's been doing a whole lot of lately.
Fun to watch him play this game. And here is Domingo Santana, part of that double switch. He's had himself a good homestand, has Santana 8 for 20. Another one of those hitters that's been on a good roll the last couple of weeks. A good series, as you can see by those numbers. Jacob deGrom out for the 5th inning of work. Got touched up in the first. The only run he's allowed in this, his 3rd outing at Miller Park.
You know what we can do to sweeten the pot on the grab some grub and behind the scenes with Fox. Maybe the winners will be able to go out on the field. We'll do an on-field instructional in the post-game show.
There you go. You're going to bring that back? We have a 1 night only?
Yeah.
Santana is on back-to-back hits.
So we'll add that to the mix, so you can get it behind the scenes. You get to have some lunch or dinner with us and up in the press room. Food's great, by the way.
Oh, it is. That is no lie.
And then stick around after the game, and we'll do an on-field instructional.
I like that. Bringing that back. I've had some people ask me that. Said, how come I don't Rock do that anymore?
Well, we ran out of topics.
I hear you. So you make it a special treat.
Yeah.
A 1 night only kind of thing.
Right.
I think you're onto something.
It's a big sacrifice by me, but I'm willing.
You'll do what you have to for the ball club.
Right.
Right. Just who you are.
So Sophia can add that to the chalkboard out there.
So BA will cut your grass. You will lead the on-field instructional. That's good.
I don't know about the grass thing. But the instructional, on-field instructional is a done deal.
Want to know the count to Jonathan VR. Brewers have a lot of work to do trying to get something going here off Jacob deGrom in the 5th inning. It's an offense, though, that's been scoring at a high clip in this homestand. VR looking for his first hit, struck out looking in the first and bounced back to deGrom in the 3rd. One. DeGrom, another one of those pitchers from the Mets staff, had to go through surgery. His season last year ended in early September. Had elbow surgery. Ulnar nerve issue. They were relieved to find out there was nothing wrong with the ligament. No ligament damage. That was the concern going into the surgery, but that turned out not to be the case. All these young arms. DeGrom is 28, so he's the veteran there of the group, but with the Harvey 28 as well. But a young guy like Noah Syndergaard, obviously he is out for some time. This is a pitching staff that many thought could be the best in the bigs going into the year. To this point, DeGrom has looked the part. Brewers trying to get to him here in the 5th. Pulls the string there, and a full count to the second baseman. Brewers with 5 hits. They were terrific last night with runners in scoring position. They have Arcia at second right now. Domingo Santana at first. Back-to-back singles after a foul pop from Keon Broxton. 3-2 pitch to VR.
That's the second time the Brewers have had a man at second base. They did it in the first inning, able to play the run. Well, second and third, one out, ground ball, scored a run to tie the game in the first. And the bottom of the order coming up and getting the job done again. We've been talking about that this entire homestand.
That has been a very, very productive part of this order for the Brewers. And we'll see what VR can do here at the top. DeGrom with the payoff. Showing some signs here, VR, in this homestand, that might be ready to turn the corner at the plate. Up that on-base percentage, which right now sits at .274. That's nearly 100 points lower than what he ended up with last season. 3-2 again. The bases are loaded, so here we go. Crew with something going on in the 5th. Bases full of Brewers, and the big man Eric Thames will be stepping to the plate.
Yeah, first walk for Jacob DeGrom, and this is the spot you want to be in. You're down by 6. There's a long way to come back, and this will be a nice start.
Dan Warthen, the pitching coach, leading that meeting on the mound. And
I'll tell you that, last time Thames was up there, it's about as masterful a job from Jacob DeGrom as you can see. Slider, changeup, high fastball to get Thames. So if you're Eric Thames, what are you thinking right now? I mean, that was about as good a sequence as you can do against a very good hitter.
Here's Thames' day at the plate, presented by Wendy's. A base hit to right, scored the first and so far only run of the game for the Brewers, and then that 3rd inning strikeout. Bases are packed, 1 out in the 5th.
They start him out the same way with the slider. Does he come with a changeup now? Does he do the same thing he did his last time up? I would imagine that's what Thames is thinking about right now.
Pretty good little chess match going on. Lead runner is Arcia. He's at third. Santana at second. VR, the runner, at first. DeGrom brings the 0-1.
Same thing.
There it is. Yep.
Means the same sequence.
Yeah, it is.
Now is he going to go with the high fastball again? Slider, changeup, back-to-back at bats. Let's see if he goes with the high fastball.
No balls, 2 strikes to Eric Thames. Fastball at the belt. Thames swings right through it, and there are 2 men out.
Yeah, same sequence, different location that time. 0-2 was a mistake, but Eric not able to catch up to it. It looked like Rivera wanted that pitch high. DeGrom did not get it up there, but got away with it.
2 men out here in the 5th.
Yep, underneath, behind it.
Hernan Perez doubled in the 1st, grounded to Reyes in the 4th inning. Big opportunity here for the Crew. 2 singles and a walk after Leon Broxton was retired.
And the thing about that sequence again, I mean, you see the location of the first 2 pitches, unhittable. I mean, the slider down and in, the changeup down and away, and then blew the fastball by him. You can't do it. Even if you're looking for it, you're not going to do much with it.
1 strike pitch to Perez. Wave and a miss. Some nasty stuff here from Jacob deGrom. One swing could put the Brewers right back into this game. Here's the 0-2. Heads up. Hard but foul behind the Milwaukee dugout.
Pretty good plate coverage right there. That pitch about a foot off the corner. Perez able to get a bat on it.
Some good numbers coming in, and with runners in scoring position for Perez. 7 for 21 in situations like this. Still down 2 strikes to nothing to deGrom. In the air to center field. Lagares. The inning over. Had him loaded with 1 out, but deGrom turns it back. That's still up by 6. Well, for Bryce Harper, here's how his night ended last night, a walk-off home run. And today he's doing some more work, playing a doubleheader against the Philadelphia Phillies as he ropes one over the wall. All of that, and he has a $21 million plus deal ready for 2018. This weekend's going just fine.
21, 22 million. What's the difference?
What's the difference? 21.6 something, and maybe proven why. Then after that, he can go really sign a long multi-year contract.
And you wonder about the negotiations for that. I mean, so the team says, I'll give you a 21. He says, I want 22.
So they go 21. How's 21.65 sound?
I mean, does it really matter?
Just a number. Jan Marina is still on for the Brewers, facing Rene Rivera.
How many football games do you have to do for $21 million?
Me until the year 25.
Be about 10 million away.
Yeah, I would.
Man, I mean, that's amazing money. I mean, but again, we talked about this last night. I mean, if the bar is set, guys are making $200 million over the course of contracts. There's nobody better than Harper. I mean, face of baseball, pretty much. He and Trout.
Yeah, they would be the ones. There's a foul pop handled by Eric Thames for the first out of the inning.
Chris Bryant in the mix.
He certainly would be there. And up until last year, it was a tough year for Andrew McCutchen, but there for a time he would certainly have been in that conversation. But I think with Trout, Harper, Bryant, those are probably three who would come to mind immediately for a lot of fans. It's also been suggested to me, Rock, that maybe 10 additional postgame shows for you might be able to cover that.
Is that what it be?
Yeah, something like that, or pregame.
We really, all this talk about what you and I and BA are going to do. What about Augie and Craig and Davey? I mean,
it's a legitimate question.
I mean, they are part of this thing.
They're integral.
They need to step it up. I mean, open their mics and contribute a little bit.
They're being shy back there. Juan Lagares, a foul pop. And Pena not able to make the play. A little bit of traffic down there by the dugout. Nowhere to go.
Everybody, bat boys getting out of the way, and kind of a little bit of a misjudge. That would have been a tough catch.
Yeah, that's one where you have concern with the rail and concern where it stops. Avoid that tumble down the dugout steps. 1-1 the count to Juan Lagares.
If those three guys aren't going to chime in, we're going to come up with something for them.
We'll volunteer them for, it's kind of like we've been doing with BA.
Right. I mean.
Okay, Augie, you sound like you're ready to accept the challenge here. What do you got?
Well, they could always have the people come to the set. We could have a picture with them. It's always neat. It's a great background. It's nice to come down and watch the pregame show. It's a lot of fun. We'll be waiting to do that. I'm sure Rock will automatically volunteer me for the on-field instructional. That's that's
absolutely.
a given.
Augie's going to be there. And
that'll be a given.
And he can give a free pitching lesson.
Sure. A quick one.
That would be the on-field instructional.
That's big time. See, that's good.
I'm sure Craig and Davey can add something to it.
Well, how about this play by Eric Thames, and he wins the race to the bag. Wow, what a defensive play by Eric Thames to record the out and take one away from Juan Lagares.
Well, wonderful effort. You know that he's still upset with himself with a couple of strikeouts, but nice play, reaching out and having to dive into first. You got two guys diving into first base. That's a heck of a play by Thames, angling back, fully stretched out, up quickly to get the out. Tags the bag with his glove.
2 men out for Jacob deGrom. That's good work by Augie stepping up. That's good. Be able to be around, watch the pregame show. Right. That's great.
Maybe we can offer a couple of Craig's pocket squares to the winner.
Wow, now that's a huge sacrifice.
What do you think,
Craig? Well, has a lot left over.
I'd be more than happy to pay for him.
Well, he does. He's got to have at least a couple to spare.
Got to have 50, 60 of them.
Sharpest dressed man in Wisconsin sportscasting.
No kidding.
0-2 to Jacob deGrom, and that is hit in the air to center field, and that's a base hit. It gets by Broxton, and it goes to the wall. deGrom with his second hit of the afternoon. We weren't kidding when we said this guy can swing the bat.
He's been on base every time today.
Well, reached on an error in the 5th inning.
Two-seam fastball going away. It was upstairs, and that's a heck of a swing right there by DeGrom. Yeah, going right back into center field. They had him shaded to the opposite field a little bit. Broxton not able to cut it off. And a 2-out double. That'll bring the top of the order up for the Mets.
Jose Reyes. And a ground ball away from the shift, knocked down by Shaw. No play for Arcia. And make sure Shaw is okay down there. He's flexing that hand.
Got the bare hand digging into the dirt out there in the infield. A number of things could have gone wrong there. I would not be surprised if Craig Counsell just say, come on in, let's get some ice on it. That's the throwing hand. Maybe jamming a finger. You can see he kind of digs in with that hand. He looks at it right away. Right there, you can see that maybe just hyperextending the finger a little bit, and that's the last thing the Brewers need, to be without that guy in the lineup.
Well, you talk about a valuable player on this team. 31 RBIs to lead the club. I want to test that hand right now. Remember, he took a pitch to the hand a couple weeks ago. Missed just a game and got himself right back in there, and he's not coming out now either. He's going to stay right in there. That's a hold your breath moment.
Yeah, no kidding. That could be a broken finger. Yeah, a lot of different things. You know, jam the knuckles. Still having a difficult time with it. Not sure how long he's going to be able to stay. It's feeling about as good as it's going to all day.
He is scheduled to lead off the bottom of this inning.
I think he's bound to stiffen up at some point.
This inning continues for T.J. Rivera. 2 fly balls and a single to right. Part of that 4-run fifth for the Mets. They threaten for more here with runners at first and third. DeGrom at third, Reyes the runner at first. Bouncing ball, and of course it goes right to Shaw, and the throw is true. I mean, you can predict it, right? That's why you hear guys say the ball finds you. And Shaw was ready for it. 7-1.
And we are here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mets up by 6. Hey, the polls are open and the Brewers need your vote, all 35 of them to be exact. Go to brewers.com/vote and cast your ballot up to 5 times per day, 35 times total, to make sure the Brewers are represented at the Midsummer Classic this July in Miami.
There's a very viable candidate right there with the 31 RBIs. Keep an eye on the at-bat here from Travis Shaw. That throwing hand dinged up in the top half of this inning, and then naturally he gets a ground ball that he has to make a throw on, and he did. Let's check out part of Shaw's night. He actually had 2 hits in the 5th inning. This was the second one. A 3-run bomb, Powerball home run count. 8 of them now for Travis Shaw. That wrapped up an 8-run inning. Those 2-hit innings, you got to love it.
Could use another 8-run inning. Or is that asking a little bit much?
Well, you know, I say no. Say let's go.
Makes it a little bit more difficult with the guy out there in the mound.
That would be a good point. Brewers got to him for a run in the 1st inning, and that's been it. Shaw with a single to right his last time up. He now has a career best 7-game hitting streak. It'll be Shaw, Pena, and then a pinch hitter. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. See how difficult it's going to be to swing the bat here for Travis. Generally difficult against this guy under any circumstances. The 1-2.
A little easier being that it's the bottom hand on the bat for a left-handed hitter. That right finger, I mean, if it's the top hand, it might have a difficult time, you know, finishing the swing.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Little chopper, DeGrom, out number 1. I mentioned DeGrom was an all-star in 2015. His inning of work, he retired the side, needing all of 10 pitches. That was the first time, say, that's happened in the all-star game. Big year for him. 14-game winner, ERA about 2.5. And he was good last year before his season ended on September 1st with the elbow problem. The record not reflective of the ERA, which was 3.04. A 7-8 record for the Mets last year.
It seems like he's getting better. I mean, adding a lot of these off-speed pitches to his repertoire, the changeup, and not making too many mistakes. There's one.
There's one that Pena will make him pay for, into the corner and left. And the Brewers catcher continues to hit a 1-out double for Manny Pena.
Yep, left the slider inside, not where you want to leave it, and Pena able to take advantage of it. Check it out. And not supposed to end up there. And Manny Pena taking advantage of it, whistles it down the line for a 1-out double. It's a nice swing too for Pena.
Martinez, I spoke too soon about the pinch hitter. Martinez is going to go ahead and hit for himself.
Need innings. Greg Counsell, I'm sure, was hoping for a nice long start from Willie. Zach Davies only going 5 last night.
Yeah, the bullpen has certainly been worked. He's already had 1 at bat this season, a swing and a miss. This is his 5th career at bat in the big leagues. Had 3 trips to the plate last year in a Brewers uniform. And a ground ball to Lucas Duda.
Nothing wrong with that swing.
And they made some contact against Jacob deGrom. Pena to third with 2 outs.
Barreled that baby up, didn't he?
He did.
That was a nice hack.
How sweet would that have been to get your first hit in RBI against Jacob deGrom?
Right.
Good contact.
He hit it hard, but right at the first baseman. Yeah, he's happy with that. Why not? Telling all the position players, now that's how it's done.
It's not so hard. Must have been the gloves.
There's his batting gloves. He's probably using somebody's helmet, somebody's bat. Of course, it's always good for a pitcher when he grabs somebody's bat to ask first.
True.
You don't want to be running up there with, Ryan Braun's gamer.
You go up there and shatter it. Would not go over well. He'll stay in there. Council's going to get some innings from him. Keon Broxton looking for his first hit here of the day. He has struck out and hopped out. That average certainly climbing with what he has done over the last now 20 games. Good homestand, 9 for 23 at the moment. 0-2 the count with Manny Pena, the runner at third. Bringing it at 97 is Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, not exactly sure where that missed. I mean, Phil Cuzzi has been a hitter's umpire tonight or today. Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch.
Yeah. 1-2. That's 2 or 3 times, not on that last offering, but on the 0-2 where deGrom thought he had strike 3 but didn't get it.
Yeah. Willie had one of those early in the game.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Keon Broxton. There's a liner deep to left field, and it is gone. Keon Broxton, a 2-run shot as the Brewers start to chip away.
Well, you get an extra swing, and that's what happens. And deGrom hangs a breaking ball, and Keon hammers it out of here, a line drive. Looked like he was rung up on strike 3. Not called. He gets an extra swing and a 2-run homer. That was actually a changeup, not a slider. It changeup middle in, a mistake, and Broxton makes him pay for it. That Brewers down by 4.
Here's Orlando Arcia. Again, with this offense, as good as deGrom is, this Brewers offense has been very good. Do not count them out.
97 the pitch count, so you get into that bullpen, take your chances. Plenty of game left.
There's Jerry Blevins warming up in the Mets bullpen. One of a couple of left-handers that Terry Collins has available.
Well, he's telling everybody change up.
1-1 pitch. Arcia single to right. Last inning, Brewers left him loaded in the 5th. Broxton delivers a 2-run homer 1 inning later. Here's the 1-2. Arcia on Friday night with a pinch hit homer, the first of his career. 4 homers for Arcia this season. Working the opposite field. And that is Strike 3 called. I see a bailing on that fastball, but the Brewers pick up a couple of runs courtesy of Keon Broxton, who goes deep for the 4th time this season, taking Jacob deGrom over the wall in left as Bernie takes a quick trip down his slide. 7-3 Mets after 6. Brewers in comeback mode here as we move to the 7th inning. Mets still lead at 7-3 as Michael Conforto steps in to lead things off. Conforto, Walker, and Lucas Duda against Yan Marinez. Getting on for Willie Peralta with 1 out of the 5th inning. Good day and a good last couple of days actually for Conforto. 1-strike pitch going the other way. That's Eric Thames out in left field. He's given chase and he cannot get it, and it will be still in play. Now ground rule double. No, there was not a ground rule double. It stayed in play, and Conforto coming all the way around, and he ends up at 3rd.
A single now away from the cycle for Conforto. How about that?
A triple for Michael Conforto to begin this 7th inning.
A deep fly ball right down the line, and you hope Eric Thames is all right. Well, he's been throwing himself around, and we saw him make a diving play on a ground ball last inning, and fully stretched out here on the dirt. And by the time he picks it up and gets it in, Conforto in with a triple, a single away from a cycle for Michael Conforto.
So a triple to begin the 7th inning for the Mets, and here is Neil Walker. Walker with a couple of doubles. This Mets team is in love with the doubles now over the last couple of weeks. And that has continued here this afternoon. And a ground ball. Infield was halfway, and that gets through. VR run scoring single for Walker, and it's now 8-3 the Mets. Three RBI day for Walker.
He's barreling up everything in this series.
8 for 12 in the series now is the former Pirate Neil Walker. The Mets with 13 hits this afternoon. Brewers last night had a season high 16. Lucas Duda at the plate. Changes here. You saw Eric Thames out in left. Jesus Aguilar is at first. Hernan Perez now in at third for Travis Shaw. There's Thames in left field. 1-strike pitch to Duda. Single to center in the 5th inning. It's been the big inning for the Mets. They scored 4 times. Out in front there. Good pitch from Marinez.
Well, now with 2 strikes, you're going to see the big shift. And Perez going all the way over towards second base. Check this out. Look at Perez, the third baseman, where he is. There's Hernan right there.
Saw the Mets do that early on with their third baseman T.J. Rivera, and there is Perez, and there's one to Arcia on to first, and that's a double play. Perez, Arcia, Aguilar. Second double play turn by the Brewers here this afternoon.
Had to go 5 to 6 to 3. Third baseman making a play on that. Hey, look in the box score. You'd think that Duda hit the ball to third base. Actually hit it to second.
So it goes in the world of defensive shifting. Brewers now have turned 46 double plays on the year. Here's Curtis Granderson. He hit into a double play in the 5th, and that was a 3-6 double play. They were able to execute that. Neil Walker slow running into home, a jog into home, and they were able to get the outs before Walker across the plate. One pitch to Granderson. Have the word now on Travis Shaw. It's general, as you might imagine, a right index finger injury. Made a play and had an at bat.
Actually had to make a throw. Looked like his throwing was all right, but just a precaution. Get some ice on it. Maybe he'll be ready to go tomorrow.
We will start their road trip in San Diego tomorrow night. 4-game series.
Yeah, Mets go from here to Arizona.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Granderson. Those big years he has had at the plate. A couple of big years where he led the league in triples. Granderson, we talked about the power numbers. 2007, he tripled 23 times. Marinez trying to end this top half of the 7th, allowing the 1 run. And it will be a full count now. Over in right field this afternoon is Granderson.
That really is amazing. 23 triples.
That is.
That ballpark here in Detroit, though, pretty good triples park. Still amazing.
Yeah, led the league a year later, but needed 13. Was all he needed to. That 23. That is a high number.
No kidding.
Through the years, a guy who will strike out his fair share and then some, but the run production very good. A couple of years where he's been in triple digits with the RBIs. Career high of 119 back in 2011. He was with the Yankees. And he draws a walk. First time Granderson has reached this afternoon. Mariñez touched up here in the 7th inning. A leadoff triple from Michael Conforto and an RBI single from Neil Walker. Now he'll face Rene Rivera. One of the big hits in the game, it came from Rivera. 2-run single in the 4th inning.
Yeah, that was a backbreaker for Willie Peralta. One pitch away from getting out of that mess. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out.
And Rivera delivered with 2 strikes. Chopper is foul. He's bounced around. MLB debut with the Mariners. A year with the Twins. A couple years with the Padres. 2 years ago with the Tampa Bay Rays. Involved in a 3-team trade back in December of 2014. Padres, Rays, and the Nationals. Among other things, it brought Trey Turner to the Nationals. It's a ground ball to Arcia. They'll get the play to Villar at second for the force, and that'll do it for the Mets. But they pick up another run, and so we hit stretch time on this Mother's Day afternoon here at the ballpark. 8-3 the score. We'll keep it here for God Bless America.
Led by Bob Kozlowski from the Brewers Guest Services.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
We are wrapping up BCF week here on the homestand, joined again now by Cecilia Gore, Executive Director of BCF. And Cecilia, it's been a very busy week for you guys. We're finishing off with the ultimate auction here, the last day. Fans have until 11:59 to bid on all of these packages and experiences. And really, this all helps support BCF and the work that you guys do all year long.
Let me first thank you for supporting us. Brewers Community Foundation supports about 200 organizations annually. And so your bids will make a difference in supporting families and children throughout this community.
And what are some of the specific organizations that BCF helps throughout the city of Milwaukee?
Well, it's a long list, but we support Habitat for Humanity, ABCD After Breast Cancer, Milwaukee Zoo. The list goes on and on. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Sharp Literacy, you name it, we support them.
And certainly BCF Week is one of the many things that they do to help support all these organizations. So again, you can bid on all of these packages. You have until 11:59 tonight. All of that money will go help support BCF and all of those organizations. And Cecilia, thank you again for all your work this week.
All right, thanks to both of you, Sophia and Cecilia. Fantasy camp numbers looking impressive, Rock.
I mean,
as always.
has the behind the scenes with Fox, has it actually moved at all since we've added all that stuff? You know, I'm taking it off the board if we don't get any more. You know,
You're out.
I'm pulling out the.
I would have thought.
I'm going to pull back the on-field instructions. It hasn't budged.
See, I thought that. I thought there'd be a big jump. I got to admit, I'm a little surprised. I mean, you're bringing back an old favorite.
Yeah.
An on-field instruction, but the fantasy camp number is strong.
As well it should be. That's a good deal. Going to be a lot of fun this year.
There's Domingo Santana. He continues to hit. It's his second hit of the game, and that's how the bottom of the 7th begins.
We are doing a celebration of the 2008 wild card team in fantasy camp. Some of the coaches are going to be players from that team, and go to brewers.com/fantasycamp while Terry Collins goes out to the mound to go get Jacob deGrom. How's that for play-by-play?
That is solid work. You're good at this. I know you can do it. Pitching change here at the park. Brewers trying to get something going, down by 5, and they got deGrom out of there. Let's see what happens. Start here in the 7th inning, a single to lead things off from Domingo Santana. That ends the day for Jacob deGrom as Terry Collins goes to the left-hander Jerry Blevins.
Look at those numbers. A .73 earned run average, more strikeouts than innings pitched. This guy's having a terrific time of it so far. 20 appearances, but only 12 in the 3rd inning, so he's in there for maybe a left-hander or 2, and that's it. Ordinarily, the only straight left-hander left in the lineup right now is Eric Thames.
Yeah, Travis Shaw exiting the game, a right index finger injury. His 20 appearances, by the way, leading the National League. And he begins with a strike to Jonathan Villar.
Yeah, the 8 hits for the Brewers against deGrom tie a season high that he's allowed this year.
How about that? Tells you how good he has been. He struck out 7, walked 1. 6+ for the Mets starter. Now Jerry Blevins is on the mound. I want to correct myself. Said leading the National League. He leads the big leagues in appearances now. This is game number 21 for Blevins. Number of years with the Oakland A's. was with the Nationals in 2014. Now his 3rd year with the Mets.
He's appeared in 21 of the 37 games. That's pretty good. 36 games, actually.
1-1 pitch to VR. This with a curveball. The Brewers got a couple of runs in the 6th. The 2-run shot from Keon Broxton. See if they can start moving the line here a little bit. Mentioned the Brewers have had some memorable games on Mother's Day. And there's a fly ball hit back into deep left field, and it is gone. Jonathan VR greets Blevins with a 2-run shot, and the Brewers are within 3.
Well, doing what they do best, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Now VR gets on top of a high fastball. This pitch up in the zone. Check it out. Talking about tomahawking a high fastball. Levels out that swing and knocks it out of here. A high towering shot. He knew it was gone. Well, Brewers aren't done yet. They have plenty of time left. A couple of 2-run homers have got the Brewers to the win within 3 runs.
VR getting some rhythm from the right side of the plate now. It's an 8-5 game. Here is Eric Thames. Talked about his struggles against left-handed pitching, Jonathan VR, but turning the corner and doing so in a big way here. Bender that gets in there on Thames to even the count. Thames singled, scored the first run for the Brewers. He's also struck out a couple of times. Under the curve, that home run for VR is first since May 1st in St. Louis. Good sign, showing that pop. 5 homers. Now he's driven in 21.
And when you think about it, the Brewers have been doing all this damage with the home runs and the runs scored, and VR hadn't really gotten going yet. Continues to stay in that leadoff spot. He's the guy for Craig Counsell. He's just kept him in there and finally showing signs of getting it together.
The 3-1 pitch. Thames draws a walk. Home team has something going on here as they were down 7-1 at one point, but they're coming back. Here's the Powerball home run leaderboard. Eric Thames with 13. Travis Shaw with 8 of them now, and including one last night. Jonathan VR is among those with 5 home runs. VR going deep here in the 7th inning, and Terry Collins will be making another move, and this will be another double switch here for the Mets as the Brewers trailing by as many as 6 at one point, now within 3. And a good inning in progress. 2 are in, 1 is on. 8-5 Mets. Nobody out in the 7th. you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Eight 5, Mets lead the Brewers as Milwaukee with a couple of runs here in the 7th. A 2-run blast from Jonathan Villar. Eric Thames walks. Some changes here for the Mets. TJ Rivera moves out to left field for third base. Wilmer Flores now in at third. A couple of other changes we will get to momentarily, but at the plate right now is Hernan Perez. It's ball one from Fernando Salas, who is now on the mound for New York.
Yeah, he's bounced around quite a bit. Cardinals, Angels. He's been in a second year with the Mets. You can see he's worked a lot. 20th appearance, and he's got that .551 earned run average. Salas has given up 10 earned runs in his last 12 outings.
31-year-old with the 1-0. Mixing up and in with a fastball. Perez doubled in the first inning. He is grounded to short, hit a fly ball to center.
Salas much better against lefties this year so far than he is against right-handers. A bit unusual.
Having trouble finding the strike zone right now. Thames the runner at first. And a 4-pitch walk to Hernan Perez, and just like that, the tying run comes to the plate.
And right-handers against Salas this year, hitting a robust .364. The right-handers have really been giving him problems. He's given up 3 homers this year. And you got a red-hot hitter stepping to the plate.
That would be Jesus Aguilar. Big opportunity here for Jesus. Had a triple last night. You see what he's done in the series. Big double as well for Aguilar. So game on here at Miller Park as Aguilar takes a strike. Came out of a long dry spell on that road trip in St. Louis, as well as Pittsburgh went deep against both the Cardinals and the Pirates. Big old cut there, but he's down 2 strikes and nothing. There's part of the night for Jesus Aguilar last night here at Miller Park as he yanks a double down the line and left, bringing home a couple of runs. Rocked a triple later in the game right here.
And center field off the center field wall, high up on that wall.
Teammates having some fun with Aguilar there. They were fanning him in the dugout. Big guy can move. He's a good athlete.
Yeah. Good footwork around first base.
A ball, 2 strikes. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And there's a rope down the line, just foul.
Sal's not a hard thrower. That pitch up and in about 91, 92 miles an hour, and far cry from what Jacob deGrom was rushing up there.
Crowd coming alive here at Miller Park. Brewers with a couple of runs already in the 7th. 2 on, nobody out. Fernando Salas seeing high with a fastball. A 31-year-old Salas, 4 years with the Cardinals. Second year now with the Mets. Stop with the Angels in between. The 2-2. There's a fly ball, deep center field, and it is off the base of move. It'll be a run-scoring double for Aguilar as Thames is in. Make it 8-6.
Wow. Thought that ball was out of the ballpark. It sounded good. Well, he goes down and gets it. A fastball from Salas and nearly tied it up. Boy, oh boy, these guys, there's something else. He's got it down on the trademark just enough to keep it in the ballpark, and that's how strong he is. And maybe a double and RBI. Now the tying run at second base. Still nobody out. Boy, everybody in this roster has been contributing. Everybody.
Another example of what Greg Counsell is talking about. Aguilar, yes, sir. We've got a game here in Milwaukee. Pena foul down the left field line. Goes back to Counsell's point about the depth, the balance in this lineup. There are options that maybe Counsell has not had until this season with this Brewers ball club. Without Ryan Braun, Travis Shaw removed in this game because of an injury to his right index finger. Brewers are pressing on, and now perhaps a base hit away from tying the game. 0-2 to Manny Pena.
Yeah, nothing seems to rattle him. I mean, down by 6 runs against Jacob deGrom, and they're a base hit away from tying it up.
Still nobody out in the 7th. Salas with the 0-2. Popped up, foul territory, and not able to make the play is Rene Rivera. Might not have been real sure where he was in relation to the dugout.
Yeah, he's got the sun in his eyes as well. You can see that sun right in his face, right off the end of the glove. Well, Pena's still alive.
Well, the way this team has been hitting, that's the opening that a hitter like Pena needs. Still in there, down 2 strikes and nothing. Perez at third, Aguilar the runner at second. A 3-run inning so far for the Brewers. The first 5 have reached. The 2-strike pitch. Little chopper. Salas looks back the runner. Out number 1. The pinch hitter coming up for the Brewers, as we will see Jet Bandy now.
It was Sogard on the on-deck circle. Craig Counsell changed his mind.
Double barrel now. Hansel Robles is the right-hander. Josh Edgin, the lefty for New York. Fernando Salas will square off with Bandy. See, he started the first 2 games in this series. Homered on Friday night against Rafael Montero, did Bandy. Well, here we go. 1 out and runners at second and third. And we'll get organized. Rivera and Salas with Jed Bandy. He has not faced Bandy. Homered 5 times, driven in 11, and for the first time in his big league career, he is in this role as a pinch hitter. Though it's actually first time this season, as you see what he has done in his career. He made the 1-hit counts solo homer. Salas was part of that trade from the Cardinals and the Angels that involved David Freese, Randall Grichuk. Spent his time with the Angels before coming over to the Mets. He works Bandy in on the hands 1-1.
Yeah, it took a little off the 2-seam fastball. I guess he goes with Bandy, does Craig Counsell. He pulled back Sogard, maybe not wanting to allow Terry Collins to bring a left-hander in this situation.
And Josh Edgin is warming up in that Mets bullpen.
Prefer the right against right.
Worked well, but out of play, and it's 1-2 now to Bandy.
And Sogard, the only position player left on the bench.
We've seen Santana come off the bench, deliver a couple of hits. Aguilar, run-scoring double. There's Sogard, who homered on Friday night in the big leagues for the first time since 2015. Back from that knee injury. The 1-2. Brewers trailed by as many as 6 in this game. That was through 5 innings. That's getting a run in the top half of this 7th. Looming large at the moment. The Brewers have a rally going. 3 runs are in. Still just 1 out. The 1-2. Struck him out swinging.
Took a little off. Pulled the string on him and got him to swing over the top of it. Looked like a changeup. And there it is. That changeup cutting down some of that velocity, and Bandy right over the top of that off-speed pitch.
2 men out here in the 7th inning. Keon Broxton, 2-run homer his last time at the plate. Home run was his 4th of the year. He has now driven in 12. And he now owns a 7-game hitting streak. Brewers with 10 hits in the afternoon. Believe in the count.
A good take, not the one he wanted, although it was a strike. He looked for something down the middle. That was right on the corner.
One ball, 1 strike to Broxton. And he checks it. With Carapazza, the first base umpire. Back to our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. This was in the 6th inning. And Broxton starting this rally here as he takes Jacob deGrom over the left field wall.
Jumped all over a high changeup with 2 strikes.
Strike 2 cold to Keon Broxton.
That's a real good pitch right there. Salas. That changeup's nasty.
Had him bailing. Brewers had him at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Now there are 2 men out and a 2-2 count to Keon Broxton. Fernando Salas trying to preserve the lead for his team. And he will do just that. He gets Broxton swinging. Change up, then a fastball, and back-to-back strikeouts ending the 7th. But the Brewers are back into the game as they score 3 times. As we are through 7. Big blow at Jonathan Villar, a 2-run homer. It's 8-6 New York as we move to inning number 8. Let's check it out. Aaron Judge, one of the huge stories in baseball, and when you do it as a Yankee, it gets even bigger. 14 home runs now as he takes over the major league lead. Even one step ahead of Eric Thames and Ryan Zimmerman. Aaron Judge going deep at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, his home runs are majestic, aren't they? Boy, he's strong.
Big dude, 6'7", what about 280? Neftali Feliz is now on for the Brewers. This is a big opportunity for him. No longer the closer, but trying to keep his team close this afternoon.
And Mookie Betts hit the 3-run home run off of him on Thursday. That was his 4th loss of the year, and Craig Counsell has replaced him as the closer, and give him some work here, down by a couple of runs. Important inning right here for Feliz. Got to keep the Mets off the scoreboard.
We'll face Juan Lagares here, followed by Wilmer Flores. The 1-1 pitch. 8-9-1. Lagares, Flores, and Reyes. The Brewers have fought back and have made this a ball game. A 3-run 7th, but left runners in scoring position. Had him at 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out.
Yeah, heck of a job by Salas after giving up the double.
Tapper back to the mound from Pena, and back-to-back strikeouts of Jet Bandy and Keon Broxton. There's a ground ball in the hole. That's Arcia, and no chance.
Lost the handle on it. Just didn't have a grip on it. Had he been able to hold on to it, it might have been interesting. And check it out. He just doesn't have a very good grip on that baseball and not able to get much on the throw.
14 hits now for the Mets this afternoon. And here's Wilmer Flores. Seeing him off the bench in this series. And that continues this afternoon. Important chance here for Feliz. Try to get a little rhythm back with him on the mound.
They're just falling behind in the count a little bit too much as the closer, walking guys to lead off innings, and that's always trouble when you come into the game and walk the first hitter.
In this case, a infield single to lead things off in the 8th. But yeah, the control put himself behind the 8 ball on multiple occasions. You can get out of it, but not every time when you flirt with trouble like that. 1-1 the count to Flores. Jan Marinez goes 2 2/3 innings, gives up 1 run, 6 hits, walked 1. Willie Peralta started, went the first 4 to 3rd. And that's sharply hit and snagged by Arcia for out number 1. That was a rope.
Yep, able to make the catch on that hard line drive, and not satisfied with just getting the out on the line drive. He made a good throw over to first base. And to see if Lagares was too far off the bag. Just a little flick of the wrist. That's what makes you believe he just didn't have a good grip on that ball. You know,
absolutely.
That base hit.
Yep.
Just didn't have a. Just couldn't get much on the throw. He's got some kind of hose.
He does. Here's Jose Reyes. Keeping a close eye on Lagares. Reyes with hits in each of his last 2 times at the plate. Single to right and an infield single. $1.36 on that offering from Neftali Feliz.
Velocity not an issue for him. It's just, off-speed stuff, not able to throw it for strikes enough. Getting behind an account, and when hitters are expecting that fastball, even at 96, they're going to be able to get around on it.
1 strike pitch. Keep them close here. Brewers will have 8, 9, and 1 in the bottom of the 8th. That includes Domingo Santana in the 9th spot, who has a couple of hits already in this game. Goes one by him there, 1 and 2. Feliz gives up an infield single to Lagares, a liner from Flores, and now a 1 and 2 count to Jose Reyes. And a liner to third. Perez the catch, and unable to double off Lagares.
Just keep trying to double him off. Both times able to get back, so Neftali Feliz pretty fortunate in this inning.
Yeah, hard contact.
A couple of line drives, but right at Brewers.
2 men out in the 8th inning for T.J. Rivera. Had a roll in that 4-run 5th inning, did Rivera. Pitch there for strike 1 on the slider. Lagares not a particularly big runner. He's keeping him close.
Yeah, just to make sure that Lagares knows that Feliz is aware of him. Just keep him close, keep him honest.
Oh, and 1 the count to T.J. Rivera. Pretty good smoke right there. 2 strikes and nothing.
And nice easy delivery too. Doesn't really look like he's putting out a lot of effort when he's able to get that much on his fastball. The benefit of getting ahead in the count.
Feliz trying to make that infield single a harmless one to begin the 8th. 0-2 the count. That's hit in the air to right field, and that's going to be trouble. A fair ball. It will go into the corner, and it's going to bring in a run. Lagares comes all the way around. Rivera on to third with an RBI triple.
On an 0-2 pitch. Boy. They tried to throw the fastball by him up in the zone, but that's the second time we've seen Rivera in this game on 2 strikes. Just spreading out that stance a little bit and just kind of just serving it out into right field. He did it against Willie back in the 5th inning. It was on a slider, and this time a big triple with 2 outs. Yeah, giving the Mets that 3-run lead again. Well, that hurts.
Big way. Here is Michael Conforto. He has homered, doubled, tripled, and walked. Single away from the cycle. You have to go back 5 years. The Mets franchise. Scott Hairston did it against the Colorado Rockies. The Mets have done damage with 2 strikes. You mentioned Rivera. Of course, Rene Rivera. 2-run 4th inning single. No balls, 2 strikes. Brewers find themselves down by 3 here in the 8th inning. Hit in the air, shallow center field. Arcia taking over and make the catch. Mets pick up a run. Brewers down 9-6. We move to the bottom of the 8th.
Of the 8th, we go. The Brewers trailing by 3 runs now. Still plenty of time for them as they try to get the sweep against the New York Mets before they head out to San Diego. We'll talk about that road trip coming up on Brewers Live, presented by Ascension, here from Craig Counsell, and talk about Willie Peralta. Some struggles on the mound continue for him. We've got the post-game show coming up in just a bit. Matt.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Orlando Arcia will lead things off. Arcia, Santana, and VR. Fernando Salas remains on the mound. Did a great job working out of a tight spot. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Was able to get Manny Pena, Jed Bandy, and Keon Broxton. Final 2 on strikeouts.
As this game goes into the late innings, every time the Brewers feel as though they're coming right back, the Mets put a run on the board.
And he did so in the 7th and again in the 8th. The RBI triple from T.J. Rivera.
On an 0-2 pitch. Yep.
2-strike damage from the Mets in this game. Big factor.
That's why you get 3. I mean, you wait. Yeah. You're selective the first 2. Yeah, pretty much. Then you're in protect mode and you shorten up that swing, and the Mets have done a good job, you know, today in that, with men on base.
We mentioned it at the beginning of the weekend too, and then the Mets sit here 3 under 500 right now, but they were playing some pretty good ball with all the other drama going on with this club. And they were taking care of their business in the preceding series. 4 of them, in fact. They had won in a row before they came into Milwaukee. Brewers taking the first 2 games here, but Terry Collins knows the drill. World Series team 2 years ago, got into the wild card round last year and got bumped out by Madison Bumgarner and the Giants. Full count to Arcia. We go, leadoff walk. And we talk about it with Brewers relievers, and now the Mets bullpen, and Salas specifically gives up a leadoff walk. Now it's time for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's check out some of the goings on. Aroldis Chapman, big news on the 10-day disabled list with a rotator cuff issue. Big day for Jason Kipnis, 4 hits, including a couple of bombs. And Albert Pujols not available for today's Angels-Tigers game, handling a personal matter. The Angels first baseman. Here's Domingo Santana. Didn't start, but he's come off the bench and has delivered a couple of hits, 1 to right, 1 to center. And Salas struggling now with the strike zone.
Yeah, the Mets bullpen has come in and walked 3. Blevins walked 1. Salas has walked 2. Got to make him pay. And double barrel action once again. And they got their closer up, Addison Reed.
Yep, he's the right-hander. Josh Edgin, the lefty. Reed taking over as the closer with Juris Familia having the surgery. Familia with blood clots, and they believe that now that the surgery was actually very successful, and the word from the Mets is Familia could return late this season. Originally thought he was done for the year, but there is some reason to think he could come back. Santana with a fly ball out to center field, and there will be room for Lagares just shy of the track.
And you certainly hope that Familia can come back. I mean, that's a serious thing. Yeah, good news on that front.
Yeah, the story of the blood clot issue came out on Thursday afternoon. But Reed has closed before, so in the meantime Collins can go to him and knows that he has someone who has been there, done that.
You know, if Terry Collins didn't have bad luck this year, he'd have no luck.
That's the truth.
It's been one thing after another.
For a guy like him, as much as he's seen in the game, this one, and really even going back to last year with all the injuries that they've dealt with. Here's Jonathan Villar, 2-run homer in the 7th. One out, and Orlando Arcia, the runner at first, drawing a leadoff walk. And homer off Villar, or for Villar, off Jerry Blevins. First long ball this year for Villar, hitting right-handed. The 1-1. Also reached on a walk here today, did Villar. Second inning of work for Fernando Salas. A pitch away perhaps from the tying run coming to the plate.
Operative word, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Good eye, Jonathan.
Hitters count. Brewers were able to grind out at bats last night, then cashed in big. There's Eric Thames on deck. 3-1. That is hit well to right field, and that is over the head of Conforto. And a long single for Villar. Good decision there. That was a bolt. And Villar holds at first, Arcia to third, and the tying run comes to the plate.
I got to believe you're going to see Addison Reed at some point, or maybe even Josh Edgin to get Thames. This ball hit as hard as you can hit it. It had a little bit of a top spin liner action on it. You can see Villar with the nice easy swing on a 3-1 pitch. This ball is going down as it gets out there. First and third, 1 out. That ball hit so hard you had to be careful if you're Arcia not to take off too soon had that ball been caught.
Pitching change at Miller Park. The Brewers still punching. Down 3, but 2 runners are on. 9-6 the score. One out. Mets a 3-run lead. Lefty versus lefty now as Josh Edgen is on for New York.
Yeah, we saw him on Friday here in the Brewers victory. He stranded 14 of 17 inherited base runners, and he's got 2 that he's got to deal with Eric Thames at the plate.
Thames today with a single and a walk. There's Arcia, the runner at third. Jonathan Villar, a long single, the runner at first, and Thames, who hits .387 against lefties so far this season. 5 of his 13 home runs have come off of left-handers. The 1-0. There you see the splits.
Now, I got to believe this is 1 and out for Edgen. You got nothing but right-handers coming up. And Addison Reed, the closer, getting loose out in that bullpen.
Two balls, no strikes. Goes to the fastball. Mentioned those 5 homers against lefties. He's had about 1/3 the number of at bats against lefties as opposed to right-handed pitching. Look out. That may have clipped him. Yeah, it did. You could even hear it. And Thames is on. The bases are loaded.
Yep, and Terry Collins on his way out. He's going to have a double switch, I think, and bring in his closer.
He's going to need extended work from Addison Reed. Still just 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Collins not messing around. Another pitching change here at Miller Park. What a game here on this Mother's Day afternoon. 9-6 the Mets, but the Brewers have something going.
And today's time of the game winner, Frankie's in Baraboo. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Matt Reynolds now in left field for the Mets, part of the double switch for Terry Collins, and Collins goes to his closer with 1 out of the 8th, Addison Reed.
Yeah, check out those numbers. 4 for 4 in saves. You know, and he's got 22 punch outs and has not walked a batter. That's pretty good numbers.
See if Perez gets something good to hit early in the count here against Reed. Swing and a miss.
They see sinker sliders. Got a good sinker. Gets a lot of ground ball outs. Better make sure you get the pitch up in the strike zone until you get 2 strikes.
We see the day for Hernan Perez. Bases are loaded. Brewers down 3 here in the 8th inning. Perez with 5 homers on the season. Some big moments that the Brewers have had on Mother's Day. You think of Bill Hall, a walk-off homer. Martin Maldonado, a walk-off single a couple of years ago on Mother's Day. Who knows, maybe another chapter in the making. Not a walk-off moment, but a big moment nonetheless for Hernan Perez. The 1-1. Eleven hits here for the Crew this afternoon. Reed has been a closer before with the Chicago White Sox as well as the Diamondbacks. At 40 saves for the White Sox in 2013. Here's the 1-2.
They left that one up a little bit. Perez able to get a bat on it.
And those runs you talked about only looming large for the Mets, getting one in the 7th, one more in the 8th. One swing can turn all of that around, but we'll see what Hernan Perez can do here. Jesus Aguilar is on deck. Perez hanging tough. Aguilar already getting involved today, a run scoring double an inning ago. Having himself a nice series here against the Mets. A ball, 2 strikes to Perez. And that's a base hit into right. It's going to score one. Here's the throw to the plate. It's through. It's not in time. VR is in. And it's a 1-run game at Miller Park.
Now here they go. These guys are something. And then how about the at-bat for Perez? He fought off some tough pitches and going to right. And with one out, Ed Cedar being aggressive. He got one of the fastest guys in the club out on those bases. That's just a beautiful swing. Just down and through, opposite field, a base hit. 2 runs in. The Brewers down by just a run. Jonathan VR cutting the bag at third and able to get in there safely. Wow.
9-8 the score. Fired up in that Brewers dugout.
Just a terrific at-bat by Hernan Perez. Wow.
Just a good veteran reliever in Addison Reed. And here is Jesus Aguilar with runners at first and second. Boy, this team just keeps coming at you.
They don't quit. They just don't quit. They keep hitting. 12 more hits today in a game started by Jacob deGrom.
Brewers trailed by as many as 6. They have pulled to within 1. The 1-0 to Aguilar. That's in there. He delivered big last night, did Aguilar. Has done so already today. RBI double. Down on the count, 1-2. He drafted by the White Sox in the 3rd round back in 2010. Here's the closer with Familia out. The 1-2. Good take by Aguilar. Got a wild one going on at Miller Park. Reed with the 2-2.
Just really putting good swings on the baseball are the Brewers. Protecting against some pretty good pitches and waiting for a mistake.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Reed gave up a 2-run single a moment ago to Hernan Perez. Ames the runner at second. And a swing and a miss from Aguilar for the second out of the inning.
Yep, elevated the fastball 94 miles an hour, and Aguilar right underneath of it, right at the top of the strike zone.
Two away in the 8th inning. Here's Manny Pena. No chance for Pena in a big moment. Tap back to the mound with runners at second and third in the 7th inning. He doubled in the 6th. Part of a 2-run inning for Milwaukee. Bounces up there, but not enough.
Oh, a huge play by Rivera right there. Boy, that ball gets by him, and the Brewers have the go-ahead run in scoring position. Able to knock down a fastball. That was a tough play.
One and 0 the count. Thames the tying run at second. Perez the go-ahead run at first. Reed with a 1-0. Pena holds up. Brewers have moved Eric Sogard into the on-deck circle. See if Pena can extend the inning and at least tie the game, perhaps. Here comes the 2-0 in a moment. Check back to Thames.
Yeah, not sure what they're worried about with Thames. I don't think he's going to be running in this situation. But you never know these days.
Manny will settle back in. 2 balls, no strikes to the Brewers catcher. Make it 3-0.
Reed has not walked a batter all year.
He has 23 strikeouts. A 19-game stretch without a walk. That's a first in the history of the Mets franchise. 3-0. Reed has given up a 2-run single to Perez, but he struck out Jesus Aguilar. He's 3-1 with Manny Pena. And this is popped behind the plate and into the seats.
Well, runners will be moving now. 3-2, 2 outs.
Here we go. Full count to Manny Pena. Thames and Perez will be on the run. Here's the payoff. We'll do it again.
Perez getting a huge lead over at first base. They're just letting him get over there. And I tell you, as big a lead and as early as he's taken off, he might be able to score in a long single. You never know. Something out there in the gap.
Duda well behind him. He represents the go-ahead run. And there's a drive deep left field. It is gone! Manny Pena, a 3-run bomb in the 8th.
Happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Pena.
Absolutely.
Wow. Is that awesome or what? That just gives you chills. It really does. I know it's mid-May, but these guys have been impressive. My goodness.
Well, fired up they are. They were down by 6. Now they're up by 2.
A slider from Addison Reed right down the middle of the plate, and look at Pena's reaction. He knew it. Slams the bat down. And the Brewers take the lead.
Eric Sogard with a ground ball to Flores. Inning over, but what an inning. What a moment. Something about Mother's Day and the Milwaukee Brewers. It's a match. Not a walk-off, but it's pretty good. Manny Pena, 3-run jack and a bat spike. 11-9 Brew Crew. We move to the 9th. Remember this 11 years ago, Bill Hall with a walk-off jack with Mom in the house. And then a couple of years ago, Martin Maldonado walk-off single against the Chicago Cubs. The Brewers love Mother's Day. Mother's Day loves the Milwaukee Brewers. And then in the 8th, not a walk-off, but a 3-run homer, Manny Pena. The Brewers go from down 1 to up 2. Part of a 5-run 8th inning.
Just a great moment here at Miller Park. Look at these guys. Wow. Amazing.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. All right, Corey Knebel with a chance to close this one out.
Well, not available the last 2 games, but the Brewers really didn't need him. Well, they need him today. A 2-run lead in the 9th. Who would have thought?
We'll face Neil Walker, who has been a tough out to say the least this weekend.
Heading into the 6th inning, the Brewers are down by 6.
2 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, 5 in the 8th. My goodness.
Yeah.
0-1 the count to Neil Walker. Curve in there, strike 2 called. He's had a strikeout in each of his 19 appearances. Franchise record in that category, 20. John Axford 7 years ago. This has popped up. Foul territory. Perez. Gives way to Garcia. There to help out his buddy. Out number 1.
Better angle on it. And they were both there. Garcia calling him off. That's a big out getting that guy, Neil Walker. He's been a tough out all weekend.
I got it too. I'm getting out of the way.
I think Neil Walker just got thrown out. Not sure why.
Terry, we got a good old-fashioned one right here. You don't see this a whole lot anymore. Let's just watch.
Barking at the crew chief, Tom Hallion. A lot of frustration there with this Mets club. I have no idea what that was about, but the foul pop-up that was caught, and then Neil Walker apparently got thrown out of the game. That's what I think happened. It's the only reason why Terry Collins would come out.
Yeah, he got out there in a hurry. We have one out in the ninth. Lucas Duda at the plate. He looks at a curve for strike one.
Just keeps pouring those strikes in with that curveball. It's been a difference for him.
He has just been terrific. And now gets a chance to earn the save. Fastball fouled back. Go to the curve and then hum it up there at 97. Good luck. What a game here in Milwaukee this afternoon. Two-strike pitch. He held up. Knable with a strikeout in each of his first 19 appearances. The 29 punch-outs leads National League relievers. Third among relievers in the big leagues. The 1-2. Bouncing ball. That's Aguilar. Knocks it down. The feed to Knable. Out number 2. Let's check out what's on tap, presented by Miller Lite. Brewers head to the West Coast. We'll take on the San Diego Padres. First of 4. Luis Perdomo on the mound for the Padres. Chase Anderson looking to go to 3-0. Our coverage tomorrow night begins at 8:30 with Brewers Live on Fox Sports Wisconsin. 2 men out, bases empty for the Mets in the ninth, and they are down to Matt Reynolds. Goes to the Heats, missing up and in. The Brewers have rallied from 6 runs down. Swing and a miss. Rearing back is Knable. A 5-run 8th inning, the difference to this point for the Brewers. The 1-1. Just never want to leave early when the Brewers are playing. If they're behind by a lot, if there's time, they're alive.
Yeah, no kidding.
Knable with the 1-2. Now the 2-2 pitch in the dirt.
This is where you want to end it, right here. You don't want to bring that tying run to the plate.
Rene Rivera is on deck.
Throwing the fastball, throw a strike, make him hit his way on. No walks.
Full count to Matt Reynolds. Here it comes. He struck him out, and the Brewers win it. Corey Knebel with a punch out in each of his 20 appearances earns the save. And Manny Pena, Hernan Perez, and the Brewers make magic again for the crew on Mother's Day.
Yeah, just amazing. I mean, 10 runs for the Brewers in the last 3 innings, and you know, we've been talking about all season long. I mean, we're only in mid-May, but it's somebody different every night, it seems like.
It is. The balance, the length, the depth of this lineup. Craig Counsell, a lot of weapons, and they come through big again. Brewers win it and sweep the series. 11-9 your final. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Let's send it down to Craig Deshawn, ready to go with Brewers Live.
Well, there's some kind of magic with this team on Mother's Day. Unbelievable 32nd win on Mother's Day in franchise history. Lots to talk about. We'll hear from the hero Manny Pena coming up next on Brewers Live, presented by Ascension.